High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsity media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
The Mavericks of Moore Catholic have made the trip to Fordham, as has the Cougars of St. John the Baptist. Both of these programs looking to win the AA-1 title here from Fordham University. Moglia Stadium is your site as the Varsity Media Sports Network brings you the second of 3 New York Catholic High School Football League Championship games. This game is sponsored by, of course, as they have all season, Catholic Health. We thank them, as we always do, for their sponsorship. We welcome you inside of our booth now, Dylan Butler alongside Pat Godfrey for the second of 3 championship encounters here from the Rose Hill campus at Fordham University. Mount St. Michael, a storybook ending to Mario Valentini's historic career. In his 40th season, the Mount won the championship in the AA-2. And now both of these programs are looking to win the AA-1 title. And they are no strangers to this, to playing on Championship Saturday. St. John the Baptist, 2 years removed. Of course, a game that we had on Varsity Media Sports Network, losing to Holy Trinity in the AA-2 championship game. So now they've moved up in class to the AA-1. And Moore Catholic, maybe third time is the charm for the Mavericks. 3rd consecutive year in the AA-1 title game after back-to-back losses to Chaminade and to Holy Trinity.
Yeah, Moore Catholic's been knocking on the door for a couple of years, hoping to make that 3rd time the charm. They've got a roster loaded with talent out here, star power galore, so they're going to look to capitalize here in their 3rd trip consecutively to championship weekend. On the flip side, St. John the Baptist, a real tough, gritty squad coming out of Long Island. Some great defense to expect out here today, so should be a lot of fun.
And in many ways, these are mirror images of each other. And ironically, they did not play this regular season. So when we look at the bracket, we can kind of see how these two teams made their way here. See Moore Catholic beating Xavier, shutting out Xavier, in fact, for that one. Big win for Moore Catholic, 28-0 at home. And then St. John the Baptist beating St. Peter's, avenging a regular season loss to St. Peter's. Big win at home in the semifinals for them in that one, 35. No, that was last year's game. Sorry, I was about to say 35-6.
27-14.
There we go. A little closer, but still. Moore and St. John the Baptist find their way in to this championship game. And again, as we said, mirror images of each other. There are terrific athletes. There's really tough, hard-nosed, physical defenses in this game. So I know that you like your defense played at a physical level, and these two teams will certainly bring that here this afternoon.
Yeah, kind of the hallmarks of both of these programs is just the physicality that they consistently bring to the table. Expect to see some big hits out here at Moglia Stadium and a lot of emotion here as they look to solidify a AA-1 title. St.
John the Baptist, they are the second seed, 6-4 on the season are the Cougars as they make their way now on to the field here. Big ovation from their home base that made the trip from West Islip this afternoon. And St. John the Baptist, when we look at their players to watch, they are both athletic and they are physical. DJ Lisbon, a terrific wide receiver, a deep play threat, no doubt. You see his numbers on the season. And Lucas Skoda, he's now bringing it, Pat, on both sides of the football, acting as sometimes even the lead runner with Andrew Simmons banged up a little bit, but defensively, man, Skoda brings it every single play.
Yeah, Lisbon, an absolute weapon out there on the edge, a 6'4" frame. A lot of fun getting the ball up to him in space. And then on the flip side, Lucas Skoda, one of the very best linebackers in all of New York State, but certainly in the Catholic League. He put on 15 pounds in the offseason, and he's just an absolute beast coming through at 210 pounds up the middle for the St. John defense.
More Catholic, they're on the other side here of Moglia Stadium, the far sideline, but they are the top seed. And the Mavericks 7-4 on the season. And we could have selected any host of their special players. You see their seniors lining up here for the opening coin toss, but two really special guys with a lot of collegiate interest. RJ Pacheco on the one side and Isaiah Vanterpool on the other.
Yeah, RJ Pacheco has just been such a beast in this offense all year long, nearing 1,000 yards on the year, and that's just one of the many reasons why schools such as Michigan State, Maryland, Temple are hot on his tail as a recruit. On the flip side of the ball, Isaiah Vanterpool at that linebacker spot is kind of a prototype with a 6'2", 210 frame. He's a stud all around the field, and that's why several FBS schools hot on his tail as well. So a couple of stars out here for More Catholic today.
It is More Catholic. It is St. John the Baptist. The AA-1 championship game where we'll have the opening kickoff when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff. Get out of the way! Dante Torres! The end zone. Touchdown.
10-5 touchdown.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University. Opening kickoff moments away in this AA-1 championship game. The captains of both teams meeting at midfield for the ceremonial coin toss. Dylan Butler, Pat Godfrey, and now we welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Jared Veluzzi, who is on the sideline.
Just 2 seasons ago, St. John's was competing for the AA-2 championship. But here in 2023, the Cougars find themselves in the AA-1 final. They got a huge win over St. Peter's in the semifinals, and they're looking to ride their momentum here today against Moore Catholic. And for the Mavericks, they're very familiar with this game. It's the 3rd straight year that they're in the AA-1 championship, but this time it's at Fordham. They lost the 2 previous contests at Mitchell Field, and Moore Catholic actually elected to go on the visitors' sideline, as they're definitely more familiar with this stadium, and the Mavericks are going to look to make the 3rd time a charm. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Jared. As the coin flip by referee Alex Toussaint. It was won by the Mavericks, and they have deferred. Well, we have an opportunity. Let's take a look at the keys to this game for both of these teams and our conversation with both head coaches. Here are the 3 things that they identified, Pat, to win this game. And it's a similar theme to a lot of the Cougars games we had. It's about winning the turnover battle and those big, explosive 25-plus yard plays. He said, we've got to make them and limit what Moore can do there. And special teams, that's one thing with Lance Myberg as your kicker, where he feels Phil Alba does, the head coach of St. John the Baptist, they have a big advantage with his ability to kick field goals, put the ball in the end zone on kicks as well, and Moore Catholic as well. It's the execution. It's winning the line. They've got a young line this year. Not that big. All those big dudes from last year, there's a little more athletic, but smaller, and defensively, they need to be opportunistic.
No doubt, for St. John, when things have gone wrong for them this year, it's typically been because they've been turning the ball over, so they're going to have to play a really clean game on that side. Special teams, you mentioned Myberg, one of the best kickers in all of New York State, sometimes good from even beyond 50 yards. That's a real opportunity for St. John. And then on the flip side, if you're Moore, you just got to go out there and execute. Moore believes that they have the dogs to be the champions of this AA-1 division. If they play a clean, solid football game, they expect that to be a reality later tonight.
Message before we start. We spoke to both coaches about that as well. And Moore Catholic, it starts, Nick Giannatasso says, it starts with what makes up a Moore player, which is toughness. There's always been the physical toughness, but now it's about just being a bunch of tough guys that has to translate into a mental acuity and sustaining that. And a little bit more biblical on the St. John the Baptist side.
Yeah, for St. John the Baptist, they're looking to play as one unified unit, and they actually quoted going into this game 1 Corinthians verse 12, which says, "For the body is not one member, but many." And I can tell you from my time at Clemson football, that was a verse we used to hammer home all the time. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and they're hoping to be a unified brotherhood out here today on the road to what they hope will become a AA-1 championship.
So kicking off for Moore, they have 2 different kickers. This is Boakai Vaikai, and we will detail his journey to this game and what's beyond for him. Was a soccer player before this, so we know he's got that ability to kick the ball long. This time he'll pooch it. Nearly fumbled and recovered by the Cougars at the 40. And now St. John the Baptist, their offense will take the field, and they're led there by Max Bowers. You can call him Sunshine. And this is a guy who wasn't your day one starter, but what a job Bowers has done. The junior from Brightwaters has really led the way for the Cougars to get them here.
Yeah, Max Bowers is so competitive. He's unflappable, which is certainly going to come in handy under the bright lights here at Moglia Stadium. So look for Bowers to really take care of things on the offensive side of the ball all day long.
So the Cougars start off on their own 40-yard line. Bowers takes a snap. It's a quick out and a short gain. Good pursuit by the Moore defense. Let's meet the starters offensively for St. John the Baptist. Bowers, your running back is Simmons. Wide receivers Lisbon, Mangan, Kanza. Your H-back Gagliardi up front. Almirez, Coleman, Webber, Vitucci, and Cahill. Short gain on first down, 2nd and 8 for the Cougars. Handoff. Whoa. Look out. Going nowhere. Meet the defense. Led by big 58, Michael Herbert. Here they are. Mendez, Meredith Smith, and Gutierrez joining Jones up front. Vanterpool, Herbert, Shepard are your linebackers. Your corners are Lighton and Stewart. And the safeties are Cazadente III and Green. Loss of 2. 3rd and 10 now for Bowers and the Cougars offense. Surveys the situation. Interception at the 47-yard line. And getting his way out, Damon Stewart Jr. So first big play goes to the Mavericks defense.
Damon Stewart makes himself at home early. He already has a scholarship offer from Fordham, and here you're going to see why on the tipped ball. Should have been caught by St. John the Baptist, but that's fortunate for Stewart, who's going to take it back the other way. A huge jolt of momentum early on for this Moore Catholic Mavericks team.
Yeah, in and out of the hands of their best receiver, DJ Lisbon. So we'll flip the field a little bit as Moore sends their offense to the field. They're at the Baptist 36-yard line. Handoff for Zay, finding Pacheco, and he will meet a stout defense as well. The quarterback, he also wasn't the day one starter, but Tommy Zay, the freshman, has stepped in. He's no longer the younger brother of Michael Zay. He has made his own name with some impressive football IQ.
Yeah, Tommy Zay has had himself a great year. Only a freshman, so much riding on his shoulders all season long, but every time he's been called upon, he's stepped up to the plate. Now no bigger stage than this afternoon.
Zay's ability to process things just is remarkable, says Giannatasio. He'll get through his progressions and get back to the first quicker than anyone else that he's seen. And there's Matthias Lighton, the Army commit, getting inside the 25-yard line.
Lighton just kind of that force multiplier who gets everybody around him better because he's going so hard on every single play right there, moving the chains. Really nice play by the Army commit.
This is special. Sorry, Pat. This is special for Lighton. He didn't play in last year's championship game, was out with injury. And this being his senior year, you know that he wants to go out with a title and play a big role in doing so.
If they're going to win here today at Mobilia Stadium, they're going to need a huge contribution from Lighton.
The end arounds goes to Vaikai, and Vaikai pushed out of bounds. We didn't get a chance to meet the Moore offense. Let's meet those guys now. In addition to Zay, Pacheco, Gerald Green, great bloodlines for him. We'll talk about that more. Lighton and Vaikai along with Melendez up front. Meredith Smith is the alpha dog of that line, going to Bowling Green. Gutierrez, Cybulski, Herbert, and Craig round out your offensive line. 2nd and 2.
Early on this first drive for Moore, getting some things going on the ground. They got to like that.
A lot of movement defensively for the Cougars. Playing some Wildcat now. It's Pacheco. And he was stopped short of that first down marker. Let's meet the defense, and it is a stout one for the Cougars of St. John the Baptist. It's Rains, Grant, Lemler, and Maloney up front. Bonilla, Skoda, and Rosado at the linebackers. King and Miller are your corners. Rivera and Wheat are your safeties. 3rd and 1 now for Moore Catholic. And again, we go Wildcat. Pacheco tries to get the push. This is close. And they'll give it to him. It's a first down. Red zone for Moore Catholic.
Yeah, one of the toughest things about playing against Moore Catholic is just those 3rd and short, 4th and short type scenarios where they can give the ball to a guy like RJ Pacheco, let him lower his shoulder, and move the chains.
So like Zay back in to be the QB, and he motions Pacheco to his left. Zay, quick out, and that's incomplete. Maybe some miscommunication there because the intended receiver looked like he zigged when he should have zagged. So 2nd and 10 now for Moore. 3rd consecutive championship appearance. And you know that they like the venue change. Let's get out of Mitchell Athletic Complex and all those nightmares that they had the last 2 years. Let's go up to the Bronx.
All good juju up here.
Flagged on the play. Alex Toussaint, our referee for today's game. And he will signal for a false start against the offense.
Moore really is a well-oiled machine on the offensive side of the ball. So the last thing they really want is to get behind the chains here. 2nd and 15. Now a little bit more of pressure on Tommy Zay to put the ball in the air.
Miles Sinclair, the sophomore transfer from Monsignor Farrell. He's 27 at the bottom of your screen. You got twin receivers at the top and the bottom of your screen. Zay goes the other way, finds Lighton. Lighton twists and turns. Easy for me to say as he gets inside the 5.
Yeah, Matthias Lighton. Expect to see a little bit more of this as this day goes on. Such a dangerous guy once he gets the ball in his hands in open space. And right there, fights forward just short of the first down.
3rd and 1. So big gain of 14 on that play. Again, they go Wildcat. Pacheco gets in. Touchdown, Moore Catholic. RJ Pacheco.
Some great running here by RJ Pacheco. This play is dialed up to go in between the A-gaps, but he sees a whole mess inside and says, hey, I'm going to bounce this one out. Uses that great vision, which is why so many Power 5 schools want a piece of number 3, and dances in for 6.
So the kicker, the field goal and extra point kicker is Giovanni Bernardo, 23 of 27. Long snapper was Considente the 3rd. The holder was Frankie DiGirolamo. And that kick is up and good. So Moore draws first blood here. They have a 7-0 lead. We want to thank our new graphics and social media partner. It is Gipper, the #1 social media creator for athletic programs and thankfully also for us at Varsity Media. So all the new graphics we're going to have and all the social media, that is all from the expertise of the guys at Gipper. And listen, if you're an athletic program, if you're more Catholic, if you're St. John the Baptist, you want to get Gipper, that's how you do so. Bottom of your screen, visit Gipper.com to learn more.
Exactly. When you're a high school football coach, all of your time matters. Always so much game planning to be done. So if you can outsource that head of social media job to Gipper, they'll do a great job with it, make your life a little easier.
It goes back to Vaikai. And a little bit of a grounder, bobbled momentarily and fielded by Wheat, but he goes backwards. A flag is thrown by Toussaint, so we'll see what this call is, but great coverage by the guys in red.
I really found it interesting, too, these first opening kickoffs for Moore Catholic. Coach Giannatasio leaning into kind of a squib type, almost like an onside kick, giving their team an opportunity to maybe recover it, but also just putting some pressure on frontline guys for that return unit from St. John the Baptist who aren't used to holding the ball.
So Toussaint has a personal foul, face mask against the Mavericks. So all those yards lost, you get it back, 15 of them at least. So more manageable for St. John the Baptist on their second possession here, on their second drive, which will start from their own 41-yard line. The interception thrown by Bowers, that was only his third of the season.
Bit of a jumbo package right there. A couple offensive linemen in the backfield for St. John the Baptist.
Simmons is motioned out. Bowers takes it himself, and he's thrown hard to the ground after a short gain.
That looked like Akil Meredith Smith on the tackle there, the Bowling Green commit. And boy, is he just a force on both sides of the ball at 6'4", 285. You know, that front for St. John the Baptist, Kyle Cahill, Julian Vitucci, going to have their hands full all day long trying to deal with big number 70.
And especially on the other inside position is Jason Gutierrez, right? 6'2", 265 as well.
Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Man in motion for St. John the Baptist. And a flag is thrown. And this will be another penalty. Alex Toussaint busy in the early goings of this one.
Yeah, St. John still trying to settle in a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. So on that opening possession, receiver drop a pretty easy slant pattern that wound up going the other way. So looks for Max Bowers to kind of calm the troops over there.
Offside, the call against Moore, so you get 5 yards out of that one, and that's what Bowers is, though. He threw an interception early in the season. He comes to the sideline and he's like, guys, I'm sorry, man. That was on me. Listen, let's just hang in there. Like, big smile on his face, and that when your quarterback has that just, it resonates with the team. And there's Simmons pushing forward, trying to get to the first down marker. Simmons is battling a pulled calf right now. So every time he accelerates, he feels that. But again, this is a guy who's a senior, doesn't want to miss out on his last game in that white jersey as he gets a first down.
Yeah, you can see Simmons limping a little bit back to that huddle. And, he's normally a guy who's running 4.5s, one of the fastest guys in the field. So tough to see him fighting through this injury. But as a senior, nothing's going to stop him here today.
And that's why Lucas Skoda has gotten a lot more reps in that position as Bowers takes it himself, lowers his shoulder, pushes forward. Good stuff from the 6'1", 180 senior quarterback, or the junior quarterback.
And right here, he's just going to do a good job following some blocks of Nicholas Almirez and R.J. Coleman on that left side of the offensive line, moving some people out of the way and getting things going in the right direction for the St. John's O.
2nd and 4 for the Cougars. And again, more of a power look as they go to Simmons, but he is eaten up, and there is big number 70 yet again, Akil Meredith Smith. He's that 4-year, 2-way starter for this Moore Catholic team.
Yeah, he's been in all 3 of these championship games through the last few years for Moore Catholic, and he wants it bad out here today. You see him blowing things up right up the middle, and that's not an easy task for Kyle Cahill. He's got his hands full.
And he's a guy, too, who does not, never mind a rep, he's not taking a practice off. He's just punishing anybody in front of him. But that, as you know, Pat, that's how you get better in this sport. 3rd and 7 now, and the Cougars will talk things over.
Smart call by Coach Alba. Think this one over a little bit. It's a huge 3rd down as they're in more territory down early. Want to come away with some points here.
Phil Alba, the head coach of St. John the Baptist, in his 5th season at the helm, a Valley Stream Central 1984 graduate. 13th year in the program overall. He's also the defensive coordinator. One time was an assistant coach under Ralph Carasulo and Keith Schweers as well. So has a lot of connections, longtime connections with St. John the Baptist.
Absolutely, and Phil Alba is really a St. John the Baptist kind of man. What he cares about most is the brotherhood and how he's developing these guys during these formative years of their life. The winning on the field, he believes that comes. When you're doing all the right things, the winning is the natural byproduct, but he's mostly concerned about building men for the next generation.
So let's see what Alba and the Cougars have drawn up here after the timeout. 3rd and 7. Bowers, low snap to his left. Has time, flushed out, has a lot of room to move. Bowers cuts it to the outside. Max Bowers still on his feet. Bowers forced out. What a run by Sunshine.
What a play right here by Max Bowers with his feet. He's going to get some really good time from his offensive line, have time to survey the field, and he just kind of notices, hey, there's nobody responsible for me right now.
Look at
Without that spy, he's got a ton of open grass to work for. And boom, number 14 is going to maximize that opportunity, moving things down inside the 15-yard line of Moore Catholic.
Almost ran right into Matt McCower-Brown there, our cameraman on the field. 1st and 10 from the 12. Again, Bowers takes it himself, but Meredith Smith says, not today, young man. This is my house.
Well, as you guys can tell, Akil Meredith Smith, about 285. He likes to eat, and boy, is he eating early on here at Moglia Stadium.
That might have gone up now to 290 maybe after this morning. 2nd and 9 for St. John the Baptist. This is their 2nd drive of the game.
See up front, Lee Weba at center.
Simmons, ooh, good first hit, and then going nowhere.
Isaiah Vanderpool, first guy in there. One of our players to watch going into this game because he's got the size, he's got the speed, and here you see why he's such a big hitter.
And Giannatasio was helping us out, which we appreciate, right? It's, listen, if you notice a really big explosive hit, odds are that it's Vanderpool.
Well, it's tough, though. There's a lot of talent out there on the field to keep track of, but boy, Vanderpool can bring the wood.
So 3rd and 9 for St. John the Baptist. And again, they've got a terrific kicker in Lance Myberg, so I don't necessarily think this is 4-down territory. I think you want to get points on the board. Or they can get 6. Look at this play. Touchdown, Moore Catholic St. John the Baptist. DJ Lisbon gets in the end zone. And how about that one, Pat? Lisbon, it was in and out of his hands for the interception. He makes up for it with his own touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who's so sure-handed here. He's not going to let this go through his hands twice. Gets the opening on the screen and right up the seam for the touchdown. I love that play call. And St. John the Baptist comes back in a big way to respond to that opening touchdown from Moore.
So Myberg now on to attempt the point after. Snap is high. The hold was good, and the kick was good as well. The operation, as they call it, was done by Jake Campisi. He was your long snapper, and Michael Wheat was your holder. And that man right there, you're seeing Lance Myberg, he's an LIU commit. He now 24 of 26 on point after attempts. Also has nailed both of his field goal attempts this year, including one that was a 38-yarder. So in a game like this, Pat, he could be a difference maker.
Yeah, once you get to championship season, points are always going to be at a premium. Two very evenly matched teams. So having an asset like that and a Division I kicker in Myberg could be the difference in this one.
And Myberg to kick off. Deep is Gerald Green for Moore Catholic.
And you alluded to this earlier, but Gerald Green has that incredible family history. His cousin is Chris Davis, who had that pick 6 for Auburn versus Alabama way back in 2013.
And Myberg, this is returnable from the 4 for Green. Goes up his sideline. Green trying to get an angle. Forced out by Braden Mangan. Good special teams coverage. But you're right. He went kickoff return touchdown this year. And Giannatasio was like, of course. It's in your bloodline. He's supposed to do these kind of things.
And, I mean, made the move up from Alabama going into this year. So still acclimating to what it means to be a New York City football player, kind of taking it in stride. And, yeah, absolute weapon out there on the edge and at the running back spot.
Yeah, Carlos Davis, the DB's coach, he played at Ole Miss and as well as with the Ravens and the Rams. He is his brother as well. And that's the reason he is here at Moore. Zay knocked down at the line. Brandon Rains getting big.
Big Brandon Rains, 6'3", 205, coming off the edge. And there's a reason that he's known as the natural, right? This guy's a freak. Once he gets his hands up, that lane really collapses quickly.
Yeah, just a disruptive force, 6'3", but then he gets his hands up, man. He's like 6'7" with that wingspan and bats that ball down. 2nd and 10. Chance of defense coming up from the St. John the Baptist faithful. Quick out by Zay. Finds Vaikai. And Vaikai explodes down the sideline. And that is why he's going to Maryland.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to work in the Big Ten in a couple years too. But Vaikai, beautiful stuff down the sideline. And he's just a really tough guy to bring down once he gets the ball in space. You'll see this throw from Zay is a little bit off target, but that doesn't matter for Vaikai. He goes back, gets it, and still able to move the chains.
Abu is what they call him, perhaps because it's difficult to say Boakai Vaikai too many times. But what a first season of football for the former soccer goalie. Jared Veluzzi will detail his journey in one of his hits here today, and that's a big hit defensively by St. John the Baptist.
That's Luka Skoda, one of our players to watch going into this game. I mean, he is a guy who, if he was a little bit bigger, probably is a Power 5 linebacker, just a stud flowing through. And you'll see here, seamlessly on the blitz, no chance for RJ Pacheco.
2nd and 10 as Skoda. Phil Alba, yes, he's biased, but thinks Skoda might be the best linebacker, if not in New York State, then in the Catholic Football League. Zay, a long shot, looking down. Ooh, and a late flag comes down. It was Vaikai going for it, and Chris King was defending.
Yeah, up against Abu Vaikai. Not too many good options for Chris King other than to be a little bit grabby. Doesn't feel like, you know, he's got a great opportunity there to stop the Maryland commit, so he's just going to grab, and that's going for 15 yards.
So they'll march the ball to the 33-yard line. And penalties, both coaches have mentioned, could play a big role in this game today. You know, it's hard to play a clean football game, but you need to be concerned certainly about too many penalties. There are certainly penalties at the wrong time.
Yeah, this time of year, that margin of error gets really thin.
Fresh set of downs. Zay, and that one overthrown just a little bit. But pretty remarkable to think that it's a freshman who's at quarterback, right, for Moore. And James Matera was originally the QB, got hurt against Christ the King in the first league game. And then Zay plays a non-leaguer that followed, or excuse me, no. His first game, he did play a little bit against Christ King. His first game, oh, by the way, you've got 3 days to prepare, and you're playing Farrell, our biggest rival, in front of a sellout crowd of the Lions Den.
Yeah, just absolutely brutal circumstances to come in, and you got to give a hats off to Tommy Zay, the way that he's taken it in stride, stepped up every time that he's been called upon, and playing way beyond his years.
A flag was thrown, and then the official on our near side got wiped out. Good to see that he was quickly up, and you could see the coaching staff of St. John the Baptist quickly going over, just making sure everybody's good.
It might have been a horse collar there.
But back to Zay, that was one of the points that Giannatasio said that he felt like his team can make a run because of the poise that Zay displayed, you know, on a Friday night at the Lions Den. They did lose that football game, but performed so well. That, and then also the trip to Mineola when they shut out the Flyers, which is no easy task, certainly on the road in this league. So those are the two big moments in this more Catholic season where Giannatasio thought, playing on Championship Saturday very well might be a possibility.
Yeah, Zay has proven himself time and time again, and really what differentiates himself from the average quarterback out there is just his processing capability. He's able to read a defense, sometimes go into his second, third, and fourth progressions, which is just something that's unheard of really at the high school level. As only a freshman, I think really paying dividends out here for this more Catholic team.
With surgical precision as well. Here's Zay. You could see the checks, and this one was long. Vaikai was saying, hey man, King was holding me up. Where's the flag? And there's an injured Cougar out at midfield as well, which is why we'll stop the clock and get some attention at midfield. These two teams didn't play each other this year, which is a weird quirk, Pat, in the schedule certainly. But they did play last year in the semifinals. That was their last meeting between the two, and Moore Catholic with a 14-7 win at home over St. John the Baptist. In that one, Pacheco had 23 carries for 155 and a touchdown. Mikowski, remember John Mikowski, the quarterback last year for Moore? Yeah. 6 of 10, 127 and 1 touchdown, had 157 yards in the ground, now at Sacred Heart. Jalen Johnson had a TD reception. Vanterpool, 7 tackles, 2 sacks, as well as an interception. On the other side, in the losing effort, Elijah Alvarez had 20 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Patrick Maloney, 16 tackles. Brandon Rains, 14 tackles as well for St. John the Baptist. So that was a tight contest, and Giannatasio, you see him there in the huddle. He is in his 7th season as head coach. Giannatasio, 8th overall, a big reason for this program revival. A Port Richmond graduate of 1991 is Nick Giannatasio, and he certainly cut his teeth in this Catholic Football League. Was an offensive coordinator at Bishop Ford for 13 years. Was the OC at Nazareth as well for a couple of years. Was a JV coach at Poly Prep, and has a terrific staff with him as well. Jim Esposito, his defensive coordinator, he's the one who gave him his first JV job, and he was his OC at Naz and Bishop Ford, and was the Tilden coach as well.
Yeah, as we see AJ Cesarino limping off the field. Hope that he's going to be all right. Big number 91 out there, the junior defensive tackle.
So he'll go under the tent, and he will get looked at as Zay, under pressure, goes over the middle, and that's complete. What a look and what a catch from Moore Catholic, as it was Jaden Melendez making the grab.
Yeah, this is a big play right here on 3rd and long to set up a 4th and manageable, actually. Really nice catch over the middle. Knowing he was about to take a big hit, hangs on to that one to set up a 4th and 4. 4th and 3.
Inside the final 30 seconds of this first quarter. Lighten his motions from left to right. Zay looks the other way for Vaikai. Incomplete. And this battle is won by King.
Wow, what a job by Chris King there. Got called for a flag earlier on in the drive, but the second time up against Vaikai, he emerges the winner there on 4th down. Get the ball back to his Cougar offense.
That's going to be a fun matchup, huh, throughout this game. Let's take another look, Pat.
Oh, yeah, you'll see this. Number 1, Chris King working up against Abu Vaikai. King's a big guy in his own right, about 6'2", and just gets in there just in time to break that one up, force the stop. Huge play early on for this St. John the Baptist defense.
And Vaikai was slow to get up as well, so we'll take a look and kind of see how he's doing as well. As St. John the Baptist, their offense comes onto the field with 4 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Their ball at the 26-yard line. Another one of those power packages you were mentioning before. High snap. There goes Simmons up the middle. Good burst from Simmons. He stopped just shy of the 30-yard line as the first quarter ends. A terrific opening quarter as St. John the Baptist and Moore Catholic trade punches. We're tied at 7. You're watching this New York Catholic High School Football League AA-1 championship game presented by Catholic Health and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
We welcome you back to Fordham University. Second quarter about to begin, the AA-1 championship. Jared Veluzzi has the remarkable tale of Boakai Vaikai, the Moore Catholic receiver.
For Moore Catholic, they had a newcomer take the Catholic League by storm as Boyaki Vaikai, the wide receiver, played his first football season as a senior. He was previously a basketball star for the Mavericks, but in the spring he went out for football, picked up an offer from Maryland where he eventually committed, and now he is going with 590 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns, and Vaikai is certainly one of the top players in the Catholic League. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks so much, Jared. And one thing I joked, Pat, with Giannatasio is I said, good luck trying to tell other guys you don't just have to show up in shorts and T-shirts and get a scholarship offer. That's not too bad, right? You come out in the spring and there's 37 Division I coaches out there. You run a few routes. Yeah, we're going to offer you.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I played like 10 years of football prior to senior year. Still couldn't get Maryland to offer me, so pretty impressive stuff, Abu, and what an athlete out there.
3rd and 1 for the Cougars. And look at this burst by Skoda. Luka Skoda up the middle, late flag as well.
We were told about Skoda's abilities on the defensive side of the ball, but watch out, he can also play running back, and you see the physicality of which he can run as he kind of kickstarts his drive for St. John the Baptist.
Alex Toussaint will show the penalty here. Personal foul, block in the back against the Cougars. So tough penalty to give up if you're St. John the Baptist, because you're going to bring this one all the way back.
That one's got to be frustrating. I believe it goes back from the spot of the ball.
Yes. So they'll have the ball at the Moore Catholic 46-yard line, and it's a first down. So it's not a complete disaster, right, for St. John the Baptist, but still tough to give back yards after a huge run by Skoda. Low snap, Bowers picks it up under pressure. It's knocked down again. Big front defensively. That's Omar Mendez, number 17, just a sophomore.
Yeah, Omar Mendez, a guy who played a little bit as a freshman, had some big plays against Hayes, and feels like he's been on this team forever because of the time that he got last year, but still only a sophomore and stepping up in a big way right there to bat that ball down.
Second and 10 for St. John the Baptist. Cougars 2 years removed from a tough, tight loss to Holy Trinity in the AA-2 championship game. Skoda was motioned out of the backfield. Look out, Bowers is sacked. There is a flag, but you wonder if this is going to be one. If it's a hold, will it be declined? As Herbert, again, making himself known.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Herbert, he's a hell of a hitter. And flies up on this one for a huge sack there on second down as you see that penalty get declined. Great job by number 58, the Blitzen junior.
Yeah, we'll hear more about Herbert as this game goes along, but just an absolute beast defensively. He's a junior. He started a playoff game as a freshman, became a full-time starter as a sophomore. And his numbers, like, they're ridiculous, right? I mean, 87 tackles on the season, 10 tackles for a loss. Next to him is Vanterpool, who's got 81 tackles and 18 for a loss and 7.5 sacks as well.
Yeah, just production machines on the inside, not to mention Glenn Shepard, who can add another 73 for his season tally.
And now Giannatasio is going out to midfield. And Toussaint is moving him back. I think there might have been a question about the placement of the ball. I'm not sure. And you do see that it's being moved back a little bit.
Interesting sequence of events right there, but the result looks like it's going to be 3rd and 15 for the St. John's offense.
All right, we've got it sorted now. Bowers. Oh, look out. That play blew up. He tries to push forward and get a little something out of it, but nothing doing as Moore and Glenn Shepard make a big stop.
Yeah, this play was doomed from the start with a bad snap coming in from Lee Webber. Makes it tough for Max Bowers, who has to just reach down, grab that one, and then there's absolutely nothing there for him on the draw. 3rd and 15. You got to give props to that Moore defense for getting a big stop, getting off the field.
So Lighton is deep, and here's Myberg, who is the kicker and punter, right? So he'll go to LIU as a kicker, but certainly very influential in his ability to punt the football as well. He gets one off. That's returnable. Although it takes a couple of bounces, Lighton picks it up at the 12-yard line, goes up the middle, and he's tackled at about the 23. The Cougars, they have had to battle adversity this year, especially a losing streak in the middle, whereas, you come off an emotional, big kind of program proving moment against Chaminade, then you lose to Lehigh, and then you lose to Farrell. You didn't score a point in either game. They go on the road and gut out a 10-9 win, a game we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network against Holy Trinity. And yes, you lost to Xavier by 1, but you can see that kind of how the tides turned for Baptist there with that Trinity win, and it has taken them all the way here to Fordham University.
Yeah, Dylan, you got to think those wins against Chaminade as well as Holy Trinity give them a little extra boost of confidence going into postseason play. AAA teams that they've struggled with historically, all of a sudden, St. John the Baptist ready to take care of business. So I think this is kind of the final challenge as they're going through that brutal slate this year.
And again, if we continue the theme of mirror images of each other, that was a win against a AAA team, right? Moore has wins over AAA teams these last couple of years as well, beating Farrell and Hayes and Chaminade this year as well.
Dominated Christ the King too, so.
Well, they're at AA-1 this year. But
historically.
100%.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Now, Giannatasio thinks maybe 2 years of that maybe gives his team a slight edge, right? Because St. John the Baptist, they get that win against Chaminade, which was a big one. They get a win against Holy Trinity. But for a couple of years now, Moore has done that as the Mavericks are sent backwards after the penalty. So they have to start this drive from their own 7-yard line. Handoff up the middle. And not much for Pacheco there. He met number 53, his new friend in Brandon Maloney.
Yeah, Brandon Maloney, only a sophomore out of Brentwood, 6'2", 230 pounds. So got a lot to be excited about in terms of that guy's future. Stepping up, making a big play.
Yeah, brother Patrick, part of a Cortland trio right now. 3 guys from the Cougars from last year's team, now upstate at Cortland.
Portland, of course, taking care of business last week against Ithaca, one of the greatest D3 rivalries in all of America.
Yeah, Cortica. It was at Yankee Stadium a couple years ago, right? As Pacheco tries to go sideline to sideline. Oh, man. Michael Wheat brings the heat.
Yeah, Michael Wheat is a guy who Coach Alba said might have the highest ceiling of anybody on this St. John's secondary, but you'll see the physicality with which he can play. This is a bona fide D1 running back. He's flying up the hit. That doesn't matter to the strong safety, Michael Wheat.
Laid out his own guy, too. That was just a car. That was a car crash.
Oh, yeah. When the train's coming through, get off the tracks, right?
Yeah. Or get run over. 3rd and 9, and this is not the spot if you're more Catholic you want to be in, right? You want to move the chains. You don't want to punt from your own end zone. So big play for the Mavericks, and that is incomplete. Trying to go to the far sideline to Jaden Melendez. So how about this in the momentum shifting? More after the penalty on the kick return, or the punt return, I should say. Now they'll go 3 and out, and they'll have to punt from their own end zone. It's A.J. Biscuiti. Now, an interesting thing here is he has that rugby-style punting ability. So let's see how that alters things or how it affects things here. But he does have to punt from his own end zone. Cazadente III is the snapper.
I'd send some pressure off the edge if I'm St. John the Baptist against this rugby kicking style.
It's a different wrinkle that Giannatasio was looking to bring to this game. He's got to call a timeout. And we'll take a look at the Moore schedule this season and some tough non-leagues, right? You go to Trinity, you play Egan Catholic from Cornwall, then that win over Christ the King. And there's that moment we mentioned before, the kind of changing moment. Yes, it was a 3-point loss at Farrell, but Tommy Zay proved he could handle the AAA level or play varsity at least, right? And then you beat Xavier. Big wins against St. Peter's, Chaminade, and C. You took one on the chin to Iona, but that's a team who's playing in the game here tonight. And then you beat St. Francis Prep and Xavier as well.
Yeah, some valuable confidence-building games, namely that 20-0 win over Chaminade in the middle of that schedule.
And how about that for a punt from his own end zone? Takes a bounce out to the 47-yard line. Great stuff there by Biscuiti. As you see the more Catholic faithful making the long trip from Staten Island. We thought the Zavarian trip was long from Bay Ridge. Add the Verrazano to that as well. And that's the case for more Catholic.
Yeah, not easy for either of these fan bases getting out here today. Nonetheless, still got a great contingent at St. John the Baptist and more Catholic fans here at Fordham University.
A little bit easier, I think, for the folks at St. John the Baptist. You go to Southern State.
Yeah, not
you
too
hook
bad.
up with the Throgs Neck. No problem. That's the route that I took at least today. So 1st and 10 from midfield for Bowers and the Cougars. Low snap again. The quick out to Lisbon. Tries to cut it upfield, but once he was grabbed, he was pulled backwards by Vanderpool.
Yeah, another nice job by Isaiah Vanderpool, kind of making a open field tackle here against a really talented receiver out on the edge in Lisbon for St. John the Baptist.
Yeah, Vanderpool, he's one of those, when he's grabbing you, I don't think you're releasing that, right? You are grabbed. You are downed. Just a gain of 2 on 1st down. So 2nd and 8. Again, another low snap. Bowers under pressure this time. Evades the pressure. Dances around. And that's one you've got to eat, I think, if you're Bowers. At least get it to the sideline. Throw an incompletion. He'll be hit for the loss.
Yeah, he's ultimately brought down by Glenn Shepard, but a whole host of more defenders up in his face. And in a situation like this, you're Max Bowers, just got to get rid of the ball. Doesn't help, obviously, when you're dealing with a low snap. It's kind of messing up your read from the jump, but just got to get rid of it there.
And again, with his personality, he's probably like, you know what? That's my bad. It's all right.
He's got that Eli Manning type mentality, right? Just let it slide right off.
That's it. Skoda in for Simmons now at the running back position. 3rd and 11. Double sticks for the Cougars. Lisbon, the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. And Bowers will go his way. It's a jump ball, and DJ comes up with it. What a battle with Lighton.
DJ Lisbon using every inch of that 6'4" frame to go up there. And number 11, get yourself pumped up right here over the West Point commit Lighton. And what a huge play down the sideline to bring St. John within the 15-yard line.
And then he follows it with some trash talk as well, shaking his head on Lighton.
Gotta love it. You know, there's a little war going on all day long out on the edges between those DBs and receivers. So
yeah, we saw it with King right before with Viakai. So red zone time now. And here's Skoda powering forward, getting the push from the O-line as well. Inside the 10. The big fellas. You see R.J. Coleman.
Nick Almirez in there too. Can you say 6'4", 340 helping with that push? Gotta love it right here. Check out that left side of the offensive line. Kind of getting in there late. And big number 72 behind the pile just saying, hey, how about another 2 or 3 yards?
Skoda reverses it, spins, and he's downed inside the 5-yard line.
St. John's really playing their type of offense right now, getting things going B-gap to B-gap. With the occasional long passing play, I think you got to feel happy if you're Phil Alba standing on the sideline with this drive so far.
1st and goal now for the Cougars. From the 2-yard line. Bowers.
You got that heavy package in there. 2 offensive linemen lined up at fullback spots.
He motions Skoda to the left. Bowers takes it himself, pushes forward towards the goal line, and he's stopped just shy.
It's a good job getting in there by Omar Mendez, saving what would be a touchdown off the edge.
Well, it looks like Mendez was along for the ride, right? A little piggyback. Piggyback on the back of the quarterback. 2nd and goal from the 1. Skoda turns. He's in. Touchdown. St. John the Baptist. Luca Skoda with the 1-yard touchdown run.
Luca Skoda is a grown man, and with an escort of 2 offensive linemen out of that backfield from St. John's, he's going to take this one across for the score. So he just following his blockers, gets hit briefly off the edge, but you're not going to stop Luca Skoda within a yard of the goal line. Touchdown for St. John the Baptist to bring this one to 13-17. 13-7, sorry.
Jay Campisi, the long snapper, Wheat to hold for Lance Myberg. And for Myberg, that is automatic this season. The PAT is good, and St. John the Baptist has a 14-7 lead. We'll take a quick break. 3:50 left, 2nd quarter. You're watching this Catholic AA-1 championship game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Fordham University, and that kick goes out of bounds by Myberg after the PAT conversion for Myberg. Now 25 of 27 on the season. Impressive stuff by the LIU commit after Skoda ran it in from 1 yard out for the touchdown for Lucas Skoda, touchdown number 7 on the season. So instead of taking the field position, they've elected to have Myberg kick it again. I don't know if that's the option you want when you've got a Division I kicker. I know you back him up, but I think you take the field position, especially with the long boot he has. Now, you do have quality returners right now deep. That is for sure.
I was going to say that's the counter if you're Coach Giannatasio is just, hey, Gerald Green, he's related to Chris Davis. I think that might be enough to give him a shot.
And even the up men, I think you've got Lighton up as well as Pacheco.
Whole lot of danger there. Returning the ball for More Catholic.
So Myberg just goes a little pooch, and it's fielded by Herbert. And I like that from the big man. He's like, I'm not just the upfield guy to fall on the football. I want to score. So More Catholic in the late stages here of this first quarter, or first half, I should say, looking to respond. They got the opening score, and then back-to-back touchdowns by the Cougars have given them a 14-7 lead.
Yeah, things were moving really well early on in that first quarter. That opening drive for More Catholic was a thing of beauty, but since then they've kind of struggled to regain momentum, so look for them to establish things early on here with Pacheco.
And there is Pacheco, and there is Skoda. You love it when two of our players to watch meet each other in the middle of the field.
Absolutely. Skoda in there as well as Ben Lemler, another senior defensive tackle for St. John the Baptist, but nothing going for Pacheco right here up the middle. Kind of a wildcat look to open up this possession.
So only a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
By the way, for those at home, Abu Vaike back in the game after being a little gimpy earlier on, so look for number 1 to get involved.
Zay looks for him. Perhaps you're the offensive coordinator here for More Catholic. And Vaike again complaining about the pressure that is being put on him by King.
And you know, King is not your run-of-the-mill cornerback at the high school level. Chris King, about 6'2", very physical out there. Really good fundamentals. Been doing a good job in coverage. Vaike able to get a pass interference on him earlier, but since then, no success.
3rd and 8. And Pat, already here late in the first quarter, this feels like a big play.
St. John the Baptist faithful getting into it.
Yeah, chance of defense. Here's Tommy Zay. Goes for Lighton, and he overthrows him. Incomplete. There hasn't been a time this year or a situation that Giannatasio said has been too big for Tommy Zay. So that's why full faith in him in this situation. But you wonder if there might be a little bit of nerves finally for the freshman quarterback.
I think it would only be natural. You know, there's a championship game. You're down by a score right here going into the end of the first half. And, yeah, you got a lot of weapons out on the outside, but you also got a great defense barreling down in your face. So that one just gets a little bit away from Tommy Zay.
Joseph Rivera is the deep man. The punter is Biscuiti. Gets it off, angles that punt, and it goes out at about the 30. So huge opportunity now, Pat, for St. John the Baptist to extend their lead going into halftime. 2:36 left. I don't think, again, you don't want to be conservative, but also you don't want to take chances here, right?
Yeah, you know, I think if you're St. John the Baptist, you realize that you're kicking the ball off to start the second half, so there's a real premium of trying to get something out of this last possession here of the half. You'd love to march down, maybe try a long field goal with your fantastic kicker to move this to a 2-score game. That's an option that most high school teams don't have, so expect them to be aggressive here coming out the gates.
They certainly want to move the football. They don't want to give it back to Moore in this first half. So the Cougars with a lot of momentum on their side right now. Wheat back to pass. Look out. Vanderpool's got him.
Yeah, number 16.
There is a I think that's a flag on the play as well. But you could see, if we show that replay from our main look, you can see Vanderbilt coming from the right side, and it will be a hold against the offense. So Alex Toussaint working it out, trying to figure out if they'll keep it. But look at 16. If I had a teleshredder, I would have circled him right there.
Yeah, and that's just an impossible situation right there.
Skoda tried to block him.
Skoda, one-on-one blocking a guy like Isaiah Vanderpool, and just gives him a little juke move right over. No time for Bowers to get rid of that ball.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10. So they'll or 11. They're just pushing the chain back a little bit. Or the marker down. 2nd and 11. So they've declined that penalty. Handoff, Skoda. And you know what? Even though he's not like a everyday running back, he's that linebacker playing running back. Man, he's got the moves of running back, right? Like falling forward, twisting in the right direction.
Oh, yeah, you get the sense that if Skoda was playing at a public school, he'd probably be playing 99% of the snaps out there like he is right now. He's certainly talented on both sides of the ball, but impressed with the wiggle that he's shown from the running back spot.
3rd and 8 inside the final 2 minutes. Everyone checks their play cards or sheets, play sheets.
Looks like Coach Alba kind of milking the clock, slowing down the pace a little bit here.
Well, he's done that on the regular in the regular season as well because he has so much confidence in his defense. Skoda, good escapability from Skoda to avoid the
initial Moore hit, but yeah. Too many more Catholic defenders just kind of flying to the ball right there. So it's about minute 17 left in the half.
And Moore will utilize one of their final 2 timeouts. Thought they would do so, which would ensure that they would get the football.
You know, we've mentioned all day the kind of confidence that Nick Giannatasio has in Tommy Zay. Well, hey, we're in a situation here where they're poised to get the ball back with a little bit more than a minute left in the half. Try and potentially put something together to tighten this one up before they go into the locker room.
I was mentioning Giannatasio's staff before, and I think we got to a place. I didn't get a chance to really give all the guys or a lot of the guys their love. But in addition to Esposito, the DC, you've got, we said Carlos Davis, right? The DB coach. He played at Ole Miss, the Ravens, the Rams. DJ Lovett as well, the wide receiver coach. He played at Michigan State and as well in the NFL with the Chargers and the Browns. And Nate Ryan has done a great job with the O-line. So when you hear about 37 Division I coaches, right, you've got a coaching staff that's well connected.
That's even without mentioning Isaac Gross, who also played at Ole Miss. So there's just a ton of guys out there.
So Myberg to punt. Lighton is deep. It's an angled punt, and it will take a bounce, and it will be downed by the Cougars. So Moore has one last chance here, and pretty decent field position to do so as well, to try to go into the half, perhaps tied at 14.
Yeah, I mean, if you look out to the edge for this Moore offense between Vacay, you've got Lighton, you've got Green, you've got Pacheco, so many different guys that can get a whole lot of yards in a hurry. So certainly no time to take a deep breath if you're a St. John the Baptist fan.
It's a 2-minute drill or 65-second drill under full effect. High snap. Zay gets it. Chased down by Rain. Still gets it off. Impressive stuff. And Lighton with that great football IQ knows to bounce it out of bounds.
Yeah, he had Rains and Skoda kind of barreling down on him. But Tommy Zay hangs in there and delivers a great strike. Impressive stuff from the freshman.
So he'll move the change. So the clock would have stopped regardless. But that is some poise under pressure by Tommy Zay. So this will give Moore Catholic a first down from midfield from their own 49-yard line with 58 seconds left. You can see in the bottom of your screen, the Mavericks have one timeout remaining in this first half. Zay, good protection. Tries to find Lighton again, but that was incomplete.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, right here on the defensive side of the ball, the Cougars kind of just dropping 8 and making Tommy Zay read everything that they're throwing at him. So right there, not a ton of pressure in his face, but nowhere obvious to go with the ball.
2nd and 10 now for the Mavericks. This the AA-1 championship game. Has only one portion, or I should say only a little bit of the field now with some sunlight. Here's a quick out to Vaikai. Cuts it to the outside. Vaikai, the explosiveness, taken down just outside of the 30-yard line. Giannatasio on the field saying we have to spike this football and stop the clock. It does stop again to move the chains. Now it winds. And Zay will spike it. But first, a timeout by St. John the Baptist.
That's an interesting timeout right there if you're St. John the Baptist. Mustn't have liked what they had out on defense in that scenario, but you're expecting a spiked ball. So interesting to save your opponent the down there.
We take a look at the former champions in the AA-1 division in the Catholic High School Football League. And we know that a year ago, you remember the Titans from Holy Trinity. They won in 2022. That was back-to-back titles. They won AA-2, undefeated, and last year beating More Catholic. And then Chaminade the year before beating More Catholic. Obviously the COVID year, no championship game played before that. You've got Chaminade, so they kind of went back-to-back, as did Kellenberg and Iona, winning in 2016.
Dylan, looking right here, kind of interesting. Got to go back to 2015 for the last time a team that isn't a current AAA team won the AA-1. So it's a really great precursor for success at higher levels. See Hayes about to compete later tonight. They won over Mount back in 2013.
And that the annual Turkey Bowl between those two. They'll play this coming Thursday. Might there be two champions on the field? We do know that that Mount is a champion. Quick out again. Look at Vaikai splitting defenders down that 25-yard line.
And you can tell that fear is just kind of apparent within defenders' hearts when there's an open field tackle scenario against Vaikai.
So
Not easy.
Yeah, Giannatasio will use his final timeout of this first half with 32 seconds remaining.
So equally important for both St. John Baptist defense as well as the More Catholic offense to kind of finish this drive on the right note. If you're More Catholic, you'd love nothing more than have a tie ball game, getting the ball to start off that second half. For St. John the Baptist, you played such a good game so far on the defensive side of the ball, so really want to finish things off right with the lead going into halftime.
Want to thank again our sponsor for this and the entire all the games here at Fordham University. Catholic Health, such a big part of our ability to bring you these games here from Fordham University.
Yeah, thank you to the folks at Catholic Health. And only appropriate, right, that they're sponsoring us here today at New York's preeminent Catholic University, Fordham up in the Bronx. Such a beautiful location, but yeah, really appreciate Catholic Health supporting us all year long and also supporting our community so well.
So let's see what the Mavericks have drawn up out of the timeout. The clock will stop if they do get a first down, but that's just to move the chains. It is a 2nd and 3 for the Mavericks from the 25-yard line. Lighton was in motion. Zay tucks it under, races towards the sideline and gets out. He moves the chains and he gets out regardless. Terrific stuff from the freshman, Tommy Zay.
We said it once, we'll say it a million times. Tommy Zay is just wise beyond his years. Knowing right there, I got to get out of bounds. We don't have any timeouts left in the half. Does a really good job scampering out and preserving 25 seconds on that clock.
And it was Akeel Meredith Smith making sure that he had enough room on the outside to move a school bus through.
What a nice safety blanket, right? When you know that you can just kind of roll out to the left side and you got big number 70 holding it down.
So 4 receivers now. It's Lighton the short man. Good gang tackling, which makes this, keeps the clock going. They didn't get Lighton out of bounds. Now he's holding his knee. So this will stop the clock. It's an injury timeout.
Really hope nothing wrong with Matthias Lighton, who obviously missed this championship game last year. If he's not hurt, this is some impressive gamesmanship on the caliber of Junior Seau.
And how about that? The collective tackling. You had Kalaharo Rosado, 20. He's known as Cujo. And then Joey Rivera, 21 as well. The junior, knowing as well, we have to keep him in bounds, right? So tackling him in bounds to keep that clock going.
And that's kind of heads-up play that it takes if you want to win come this time of year. Such a small margin of error between, for both of these teams. So really got to come down to who's going to play the smartest, who's going to execute in scenarios like that.
Rosado this year, an undersized captain, an emotional leader of this St. John the Baptist team. He's the guy who, after the homily at homecoming, gave a 7-minute speech to not only his teammates, but the entire student body as well, and the parents who attended the Mass. And it was an emotional one about what playing football means to him. The senior from Central Islip dealt with an injured elbow during the season, but obviously it will take a lot to get guys off of this field today. So we hope Lighton is all right. You see him limping off a little bit there. So a 2nd and 5 for Moore, and the ball spiked by Zay.
Yeah, so people at home might be wondering, why do you got to spike the ball in that scenario? Well, as soon as that official's timeout ends for that injury, they're going back to the running clock. So really, probably would be best to just get a play off as soon as that clock resumes.
And I thought you'd have that because you had the time to discuss that. Like, you got a free timeout, in essence.
Yeah, interesting move, to say the least.
So 3rd and 5 with 8 seconds left. High snap, Zay checks his options, goes corner, end zone. No touchdown. Forced out was Vaikai.
Oh my gosh, Abu, are you kidding though? He might have not gotten his feet down in bounds, but this is as impressive a catch as you'll ever see at the high school level. Straight into double coverage, and he just goes up for this one, able to snag it down, and misses the touchdown by about 3 inches.
So this will set up a field goal attempt for Moore Catholic. It will be a 32-yard attempt. And it's Bernardo. And Baptist is like, we want to ice you, buddy. Timeout for the Cougars.
Yeah, so we talked earlier in this game about how strong St. John the Baptist is within the kicking game. Now we get a chance to see what Bernardo's got here, and a huge opportunity to bring this one within a touchdown.
Well, what he has been able to do, Pat, coming into this one, 23 of 27 in point after attempts, and more impressively, 3 of 4 field goals. His long this year, 45.
Wow.
So this is certainly within his ability, but it bears, again, repeating that these goalposts are thinner. They're the college goalposts, so they're not as wide as you'd have on a college field. So here we go.
Huge play to finish this first half off.
Yeah, a 31-yard attempt for Bernardo. Cazadente, the long snapper. The kick is up. No good. DiGirolamo's hold was good, but the kick off the mark. And that's how the first half comes to a close. St. John the Baptist with a 14-7 lead at the half. And that's certainly something positive here for the Cougars to go into halftime with.
Looking at both teams running into the locker room, St. John the Baptist is absolutely pumped up. On the flip side, more quiet. You can hear a pin drop over there. So going to look to figure some things out, come out in a different way that second half.
The Cougars a 14-7 lead here at halftime of the AA-1 championship game. AJ Cesarino has to be helped off, so he is certainly going to be out, it would appear, right, for the remainder of this game, being carried from the sideline here as Nick Giannatasio leads the Mavericks to their sideline. We will go to break here. Halftime of the AA-1 championship game, and St. John the Baptist has a 14-7 lead over Moore Catholic. This game presented by Catholic Health right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com.
What's happening, everyone? I'm John Perez from Varsity Media. I'm joined by my guy, Kyle Collier, owner of Stretch Flow out here in Hauppauge. And Kyle, we're in the middle of fall playoffs, winter season's ramping up, and of course, everybody's ready for the spring. But one of the biggest things for these student athletes is stretching and a post-recovery stretch as well. So kind of take us through the mindset of the athlete and what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, so we specialize in neuromyofascial therapy. So the athlete comes in for a recovery session. They come in for a very relaxing therapeutic session. It's very slow, it's very gentle. All the motions are just to open up the fascia and open up all of those connections so that they can play better and recover faster. When they come in for a session before a game or a practice, we give them that ramp up so that when they go to that practice or the game, their bodies are more ready for that high intensity action as opposed to a more recovery, a more therapeutic calm down of the nervous system.
And these aren't sports-specific stretches. These are good for all types of athletes.
Yeah, it's not for specifically just any athlete. It can be for any general population human, but specifically for athletes, these stretches are good for, it could be football, basketball, lacrosse, tennis. These are fantastic motions to open up any of those body parts for any of those sports. This is a staple of Stretch Flow. We call this one the crumb catcher. This is a fantastic stretch for opening up those lateral hips over by the TFL, up by the hip bone. If you got any lower back issues, this is fantastic for that as well. Basically, we're just going to take your leg and slide it across the table like we're sliding those crumbs off at the Italian restaurant, We're going to traction that hip very slightly there, and we're going to stretch the leg across. How's that feel there, John?
Feel it, yeah. No, that's good.
Why don't you show the camera where you're feeling it, John?
Yeah, so like right here, the quad a little bit, but that's just because I'm being stretched out. And
John also ran 10 miles today, so he's feeling it in his quad too. This is generally right up in here, a little bit into the lower back. The beauty is that I'm not physically pulling or tugging on him. I'm going with his body. We work with the body and not against the body. That's the beauty. So next we're going to go into his pelvic floor fascia. So we're going to go into his medial hip, which I can feel he desperately needs. Oh my goodness. And we're going to apply a little circumduction here. Circumduction is a good way to lubricate the joints so that when we stretch it, it is moving nice and easily as opposed to getting caught. A lot of people, their fascia is like peanut butter. It's very sticky. Still moves, but through habits of standing, sitting, laying down, we get tight, we get stuck. And just a little gentle traction here, and we rotate the hip, and John should be feeling this by his groin.
Yep, yeah.
You've noticed by the way I stretch, it's more of a wave We are going in and out. We are opening up the joints. We are tractioning out of the capsules. So everything is very gentle. That's that neuromyofascia. And also you're going to see his legs shoot across over now as opposed to being stuck. Jeez. And this is, again, we're just working with the body. I'm not forcing anything on him. Did it ever feel like I was tugging or pulling you hard?
No, and that's the biggest thing. Like, you're right. I do get a lot of fear of, all right, I'm stretching, so I need to be pulling something. It needs to be a little uncomfortable just to loosen things up. This has been anything but that. It's been very, very relaxed and chill, and I don't feel like I'm overexerting myself just stretching before going into a workout or after a workout.
And that's what the flow system is all about. Would you rather go somewhere for therapy and be put in pain to get out of pain, or feel awesome and then feel awesome afterwards?
The latter, yeah.
That's why I love this work. I always wanted to do something where I would want to get done myself.
So if you're just looking for a very comfortable stretch with someone who's got fingers and technique that come from above, Kyle Collier is your man. And no, it's very relaxing, very loose. He's very informative, a good conversation as well. And that's the one thing that you didn't see in the demo. He could talk wrestling, he could talk about so many different things. It's a great time here, and it's just beneficial for the student athletes. And though you don't even have to be an athlete as well, parents out there, coaches, they take anybody. Stretch Flow is the place to go for all your stretching needs.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable, and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff. Get out of the way! Dante Torres! The end zone. Touchdown.
10-5 touchdown.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Fordham University here in the Rose Hill section of the Bronx. You can see the sun setting here. It's halftime of the AA-1 championship game at St. John the Baptist with a 14-7 lead over Moore Catholic. Dylan Butler and Pat Godfrey along with the entire Varsity Media crew. For this one, it was a low-scoring, hard-hitting defensive battle between mirror images of each other. So no surprise, it's one touchdown separating the two of them, Pat.
Yeah, two very evenly matched teams here. A couple plays going either way. The difference here, and 7-point game, but things wide open for Moore Catholic as they're going to get the ball to open up this second half. So I think a lot of fun football to be played.
Moore Catholic scored first in this one, and it was one of the players to watch that we mentioned. It's RJ Pacheco getting the 3-yard touchdown run. That made it 7-0 for Moore with 7:24 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Pacheco is a guy who's been a force all year long, over 1,000 yards on the ground for Moore Catholic and exerting as well early on. Moore struggling to kind of find their rhythm on offense since that possession, however.
That came after DJ Lisbon was unable to hold on to the football. Interceptions led to that touchdown. Well, Lisbon responded to that in a big way with this 11-yard touchdown catch from Max Bowers. Yep. It was the DJ Lisbon show.
Lisbon's a grown man out there at 6'4", goes up, grabs that one out of the air, and just finds a seam in the defense to bring that one in.
7-7 now with 2:46 left in the first quarter. And then Lucas Skoda, we knew what he could do in that middle linebacker position, but we've learned in these last few weeks what a terrific runner of the football he is as well. And look at Skoda here, the 1-yard touchdown run with 3:50 left in the second quarter. The influence that he had defensively was amazing. Part of a really stout defensive core for the Cougars. And then Skoda will find his way into the end zone.
Yeah, Lucas Skoda has just been having himself a great day on both sides of the ball. We've heard about him all year long for his abilities on defense, but now running the ball, stepping up in a big way. He's been impressing us, and that touchdown was really big to put St. John the Baptist up by 7 going into halftime.
Moore Catholic threatened late, and here is the Skoda score. And you can see doing a great job at the point of contact to spin and continue to keep those legs churning and get in the end zone for the score. Moore threatened late as well. They attempted a field goal that was off the mark, and the Cougars would go into the break with a 14-7 lead.
Yeah, I think if you're St. John the Baptist, you got to feel absolutely amazing about the way that first half went. You're going up against a very talented opponent. People had some doubts about whether or not you'd be able to hang this close, and you're out by 7 going into halftime. And then on the flip side, if you're Moore Catholic, you had some nice offensive movement down the field going into the final minutes of that first half, miss a field goal and fail to come away with points, but still a great opportunity here receiving the ball to start the third quarter to drive down and tie this thing up.
We'll take a break, and the second half as the sun sets here in Rose Hill will come after this break. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff. Get out of the way! Dante Torres! End zone. Touchdown.
10-5 touchdown.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life? And now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Inside the 10 to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a wide open receiver. AJ Duff.
back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and alongside me, Coach Phil Alba. And Coach, in that first half, it seemed like you guys turned things around offensively after the opening drive. What did you like from your offense?
So, Max Bauer, every rep, every practice, it's amazing. So I think they're bringing a lot of pressure. They're really good at it, and I think he's getting more comfortable dealing with the pressure. So I think in the beginning it was a little overwhelming.
I apologize for the
And defensively, you guys slowed down more Catholic. 0 points in that second quarter. What was working well there?
So we knew they were going to come out hard in the first drive. I was disappointed we gave up the score. But I think once we got used to their physicality and the speed, I feel like we have a good beat on them now. I'm more worried about the deep pass to number one than I really am to their running back, who's number one in the state, because I feel like we're really doing a good job in run defense. We just got to keep out of the big play, and I think we're going to be okay.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks.
Guys?
Great stuff from Phil Alba, and again, apologies for some of those technical difficulties that we had there. Start of the second half. It's Dylan Butler and Pat Godfrey up here in the booth for the money portion of this game. The second half, final 2 quarters, and the Cougars with a 14-7 lead, but it's more Catholic with the ball coming out. You know, that was part of the message, no doubt, from that huddle or the meeting there at halftime, because we have a whole second half to play. Flag is thrown on the return that was brought back to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Giannatasio, hate being down by a score going into the half, but at the same time, the kind of playmakers you've got, you know that you can tie this thing up in a hurry.
So Alex Toussaint will check the flag and where the ball should be placed. And we'll see his call here. Block in the back against the Mavericks. So this will move them back now.
And that's precisely what you weren't looking for on the Moore sideline right there. Some poor field position to start off this drive. Going to have to try and march about 83 yards to tie this one up.
Tommy Zay, freshman QB, overthrew a few of his intended receivers in the first half. Empty backfield, that one tipped, and then dropped. What a play by King.
Yeah, Chris King just having himself a great day out there. The tipped ball throws off the timing a little bit, and Vaike just unable to hold on to this one as number one flies up and use that big 6'2" frame to pry that ball loose.
So 2nd and 10 for Moore, and it was tipped by an end, and you wonder, was that Raines? He's now on the left side, but he did that earlier as well. Skoda shows blitz. Quick out to Vaikai. Nowhere to go. Great pursuit by the defense of St. John the Baptist, leading the way. Jovan Bonilla, jungle.
Yeah, Jungle Bonilla stepping up in a big way. The sophomore bringing all 210 pounds of hurt on that one right there, setting up a 3rd and long on this opening possession for Moore Catholic in the second half.
But hold the phone. Personal foul. Offsetting. So the temperature is being raised here at Fordham University.
Guys flying around already to start this second half. You can imagine it's only going to get more physical as this Long Island power and Staten Island power continue to collide.
So 3rd and 10 here at Moglia Stadium. It's the AA-1 championship game. Zay back to pass. Was chased down, incomplete, but how about the pressure applied?
Looked like Ben Lemler, the senior, all 6'2", 250 up in the face of young Tommy Zay.
I wonder if it was Bonilla as well. I saw a single number as well, but yeah, Zay was under a lot of pressure. So Lisbon deep for St. John the Baptist. And by deep, I mean at the 46-yard line of the Mavericks. This punt from the end zone hangs up there just enough so it doesn't look to be returnable. But terrific field position for the Cougars on their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, I think if you're Phil Alba, you couldn't ask for a better start to this third quarter right here. More Catholic, I'm sure, wanted to get things out to a fast start on offense, but instead it's a 3 and out. And after a poor punt, you got great field position. Try and go drive down and separate yourself a little bit further.
14 right in the middle there. That's Max Bowers, the junior from Brightwaters. A lifeguard in the summer. A surfer dude is the way that Phil Alba describes him. Just unflappable, and that's what you need from a QB in these pressure situations.
Yeah, we'll see if Sunshine can keep things going as it gets dark out here at Fordham Field.
And wow, how about that? You have to burn a timeout for more. I think they didn't have the personnel they wanted on the field. That's got to hurt. You only get a handful, not even a handful of those, right? And you've got to waste one right now.
Yeah, I mean, look back to the first half. Timeouts were obviously a big consideration. Moore burned a couple early and wound up having to spike the ball in their final drive. So
the rise of Moore Catholic has been very impressive. Let's take a look at their football history. You see the Gridiron Revival that happened in 2015 after a 5-year hiatus. And you see the championships, one in the AA-2, beating rival, or Staten Island rival, St. Joe's C, also beating Spelman as well. And how about the college list? Lighton to Army, Vikai to Maryland, Meredith Smith to Bowling Green, and we mentioned a whole host of others with a lot of offers as well. Guys currently playing college football as well, and that's how you build that program.
Yeah, Dylan, this is the most talent-laden non-AAA team I've ever seen in New York.
Look at the run up the middle, Skoda!
Some further great running by number 7, Lucas Skoda, who just brings the wood every single time he's got the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he runs as a running back like he runs as a linebacker, violently up the middle. It is a freight train. And there he goes, kick it to the outside, get out of my way! And then sent backwards by Eli Jones. Or excuse me, that was, I think it was 22.
Yeah, it looks like
for Moore.
Eli Jones, I think you're correct.
But you love the stiff arm as well by Skoda.
Yeah, he's just kind of running with reckless abandon right now, stiff arming folks, lowering his shoulder. He's kind of seemingly having fun out there.
Lisbon in motion. Moore bringing the heat. Bowers going end zone. Trying to find Lisbon. Broken up by Stewart Jr. Another fun matchup. Man, this is like Madden out here.
It is.
With all these dudes.
It is. I think Damon Stewart Jr. is a little bit fortunate to not get called for a PI on this play. Unable to get his head around, and by my eye, got there a little bit early, but that's kind of a bang-bang play, actually. Hats off to Stewart on the second time around.
The only thing I think you'd want to have seen from him is take a look across, right? Like, or eyeball that. So it's not just defending, but still makes the play. 3rd and 1. Skoda, the first down, twists and turns inside the 15.
Lucas Skoda is just running so well behind a couple of those big offensive linemen for St. John the Baptist. Weba at center. Then you got Vitucci and Cahill on the right side. Collectively, 250, 300, 250. So a lot of beef. And he doesn't need a huge hole to get that done.
And it's an offensive line that has been playing together for at least the last few games. It was a bit of a mash unit at the start of the year and trying to find those puzzle pieces, but they found it down the stretch. So 1st and 10 from inside the 15. Red zone time for the Cougars.
jumbo package.
Skoda pulled down after about a 5-yard gain.
It's a nice job. Get a stop by Jason Gutierrez on that one.
And Glenn Shepard as well in on the tackle, 21.
St. John, you just get the sense that they're really comfortable out there right now on offense, working with a little bit of a slower pace like they like to, mixing it up with some really good balance on this drive.
Second and 7. Simmons back in, tries to squeeze through, but nothing doing. The hole really didn't. If it was there, it collapsed pretty quickly. As you see 7 lightning on the tackle.
Yeah, Simmons obviously fighting through a bit of a calf injury right now, so impressive to see him keep just kind of pushing himself through that obvious pain.
And that's the thing too, Pat, right? Like he can go a play, and that's kind of it. And he's got to sideline himself for a few more. And again, that's why Skoda 7 there on your screen has been so instrumental for these Cougars. 3rd and 7. Bowers over the middle. Lisbon, touchdown Cougars.
DJ Lisbon with his second touchdown of the day. First one was a screen, found a little seam and cut up the middle. This time on the slant pattern. It's just too easy for big number 11. And all 6'4" crossing that goal line. After the strike from Bowers, hits him right in between the numbers, and it doesn't get much easier than that. Kind of like a layup for big number 11.
His second receiving touchdown of this game. And now Myberg as Wheat with the hold. His kick is up, and it is automatic for these Cougars. What a start to the second half. They've got a 21-7 lead with 7:12 left in the third quarter. The football history for St. John the Baptist, well, let's take a look at that right now. And they had a tremendous run in the AAA in the earlier days, right? In 70, and look at that run there, 80, 81, and 82, and 84 as well. And since they've got 4 A championships to their name, the most recent one coming in 2013. And there we mentioned it before, right? The trio of Cortland guys, Alvarez, Ziva, and Maloney. Hey, that makes the trip home on Thanksgiving easy, right? Just carpool it with your boys.
Exactly. No, a lot of great athletes have come through that program through the years, going back all the way to 1969, this illustrious program at St. John the Baptist, looking to add to their championship credentials.
And we showed you those championships in 1980 in the AAA. They beat Holy Cross. They did the same a year later in 1981. And then they go back to, well, not back to back, but in 82 and 84, they beat Monsignor Farrell in the AAA championship. So they're A championships. Most recently, we saw Zavarian in that game earlier. 51-14 win in 2013. In 2010, they beat St. Peter's. In 2002, they beat Cardinal Spellman, and they beat St. Joe's C in 2001.
10 years since St. John the Baptist had their hands on a championship trophy. Looking to do so today and really bring in the energy to make that happen.
Handoff on first down to Pacheco. Pacheco, one of the things that makes him so special, and the likes of Michigan State and Maryland and Temple and UNLV offering him, is the intangibles that he brings, right? Always locked in at practice. He is not a guy who takes plays off. You see some of those offers there on your screen, but he takes his job seriously.
One thing I love watching R.J. Pacheco is just how he plays without the ball in his hands. You know, a lot of running backs, they run hard when they've got it and kind of loaf when they don't. He's a guy fully involved in the blocking game when he gets a chance. Does a little bit of everything.
Melendez went sideline to sideline, was stuffed, but a flag on the play. Alex Toussaint, our referee, will have the call.
Looks like this one's going to go against the Cougars.
Personal foul, face mask. So that's a 15-yard variety.
Not quite Christmas season yet, but that might have been the gift that Moore Catholic was looking for right now to kind of get things going a little bit.
So when you open that, is it literally just a face mask of a helmet? Like, hey, look what we got. It's exactly what we needed. So this gives him a little more room. That's Phil Alba, the head coach slash defensive coordinator. Zay goes in the air. There was some contact. And Vaikai, as he has throughout this game, lobbying for a pass interference penalty, none given.
Yeah, Vaikai's unhappy, but, out on the edge, King is a 6'2" corner with a lot of great length, and he's playing with some physicality out there. And, really, especially within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, defensive backs are allowed to get their hands on you. They are allowed to try and mess up your route however they can. King having a lot of success.
2nd and 10 from the 42 for a Moore Catholic offense that has kind of stalled here of late. Ooh, high snap. Zay comes up with it. Fires it far sideline off the mark, trying to find Vaikai. This time there was a double team there. In addition to King, we saw Bonilla also eyeing the Maryland commit.
So all of a sudden, 3rd and long scenario for Moore Catholic. Down by a couple scores here. Really feels like you got to get some points on this drive. So big play here midway through the 3rd.
They check the sideline for the call. The OC is Giannatasio. Here comes Zay. He will go long. Tripped up, knocked down, and no flags. And again, Vaikai trying to lobby for it. You know what, man? What's the old how many times, like the boy who cried wolf?
Exactly.
Like, you can't call it every single play.
Absolutely, completely agree with you there, Dylan. Right there, kind of just a little bit of incidental contact. Looked like some feet got kind of caught with one another. So that's got to be frustrating as a receiver, but that incidental contact is all part of the game. Good job by the officiating crew leaving the flag in their pocket.
So Biscuiti with the punt. It angles out, not allowing Lisbon to return. But what an opportunity now for St. John the Baptist, right, Pat? Like, you've got a 21-7 lead, late stages of the 3rd quarter. If you can get a score here and really punch more in the mouth and really put a lot of pressure on a team again that's lost in this game the last 2 years.
Exactly. Moore is a team, not only have they lost the last couple of years in this game, but also they have a freshman quarterback out there. So anything you can do to make this environment more difficult on that sideline, you got to do it. Executing right here and getting another score would go a long way.
And one thing that Phil Alba said, too, leading up to this game, and he said so much is talked about Skoda and our running attack and our defense. Hey, we have a pretty good quarterback as well in Max Bowers, and he has just improved week after week, doing a phenomenal job. This time hands off. Here comes Skoda our way, and he runs right in to 52, but Skoda keeps churning and pushing forward and getting a couple extra yards.
And this run wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for a great kick-out block by number 65, Julian Vitucci. The 300-pound junior from Islip does a great job kicking out the defensive end, giving a little bit of running room for Skoda. Skoda does the rest.
Bowers gets the call from his sideline. A 2nd and 4 for the Cougars.
You got to love your ability to move the ball on 1st down all day today for St. John's.
Yeah, power again, right? Here comes Lisbon now. Look out, fumble, and Bowers does the smart thing. Sometimes quarterbacks who are a little bit more inexperienced try to do a lot there, right? Pick the ball up, run, do something. Bowers smart play, just diving on it and living to play another play.
Exactly, especially knowing the circumstances of this game right now. The most important thing you can do on the offensive side of the ball is protect the ball and make sure that even if you're going to give the ball back, that it's a punt. And that's a really heads-up play by Max Bowers.
So it is a loss, but again, you've got a couple of plays here. It's 3rd and 14 as Bowers gets the play call and relays it to his guys.
It's going to be tempting to try and force something here, maybe drive it downfield if you're Max Bowers, but as I just mentioned, ball security really important with about 3 minutes left in this third quarter.
He's got Skoda to his left. Low snap. Bowers. Oh, what a fake by Bowers.
What a play by number 14, Max Bowers. This is reminiscent of Kenny Pickett in the ACC Championship a couple years, kind of giving the pause to that D and then just pressing the play button. You'll see it's all in the eye fake here. A thing of beauty, kind of keeps his eyes downfield, scrambles out to avoid that rush. Right as you think he's pulling it, oh, there we go. And able to move the chains on 3rd and 14. What a play.
What's that
Max
combination
Bowers
on Madden to make that play?
I don't know. I think that's got to be a PC move or something like that. Not enough buttons on the controller.
Cheat code from Bowers. What a play, because that moves the chains as well.
And just conversely, soul-sucking on the Moore side. You're hoping to get a big stop there, regain some much-needed momentum, and instead it's a new set of downs for St. John the Baptist.
Bowers, his athleticism again, pushing forward for about 8. Listen, in his future, collegiately, he's a scholarship lacrosse kind of guy, right? So we've seen these kind of guys do really well in this league this year.
Yeah, we saw Gary Merrill all year at St. Anthony's, a similar mold, similar lacrosse guy, do a lot of great things with his legs. And here Bowers, as this game goes on, starting to wear out that more defense with that other element of his game.
Well, congratulations to Gary Merrill committing to North Carolina as well. So big commit.
Speaking of North Carolina, I haven't checked the score on my Clemson Tigers, but I hope that UNC is getting pummeled as we speak.
2nd and 2. Bowers, look out. Pressure comes his way, goes over the middle. What a pass and what a catch!
Mikey Kanza, are you kidding me right there? Going up and bringing that one down.
Kanza shaken up on that play, but what a catch, an official's timeout.
Wow. First off, got to love the trust of Max Bowers putting this one up for his junior receiver and then Mikey Kanza makes the huge play. He's only 5'10", but he acts like he's 6'5" right there, high pointing the ball.
Yeah, Kanza is a grinder, just that gym rat, and look at that. That's his football. Lighten, an Army commit, trying to wrestle it away unsuccessfully. Kanza, not only a gym rat, man, he's that guy. He's watching film all the time and, just wants to just get so much better. And he's following in the footsteps, we showed him before, of a Jason Ziva, right, who's like him, a good polished route runner. And it's, Ziva graduates, goes to Cortland, and this is the spot here that Kanza comes into.
Exactly. Heart goes out to Kanza, who's laying out right now. He's actually returning from a high ankle sprain in this game. But even if that is his only lasting impact on this AA-1 title game, boy, that's something he's going to be able to look back on for a long time and feel great about. Mike, you're going to be showing your kids that play someday. Well done, sir.
Big smile from Mikey Kanza.
There we go.
I think he feels all right about now.
Especially if his offense is able to convert that catch into a touchdown in this drive.
And now does the smart thing, right? You have to go up the sideline, right? Get as many congratulations as you possibly can.
Exactly.
He'll go to the training table right now to get stretched out a little bit. So what an opportunity now for the Cougars. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Toss left. trying to cut it inside. And there's the push from both sides, as this was.
I mean, looked like Vanderpool was in there on that tackle.
Yeah, Joseph Rivera, was rushing the football.
Rivera, not a guy who gets a ton of touches usually, but with that injury to Andrew Simmons, he's working his way in there, adding some depth at the running back spot.
2nd and 8. Look at the burst by Rivera. And listen, Pat, to your point, in a championship game, there is no such thing as a one-way player, right?
Exactly.
Like you sell out whatever needs to be done. You need me to carry the ball? You got it, coach. You need me to block? I got you.
All goes back to that pregame speech from Phil Alba. 1 Corinthians, many parts, one body. It doesn't matter who's in there for this Cougar offense. Everybody steps up and does their job.
3rd and 1. Some flags fly. Where was the movement? False start on the offense, says Alex Toussaint.
And that's the last thing you want if you're calling plays for St. John the Baptist is to turn that easy 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 here. Of course, got to keep in the back of our mind that the excellent kicking game of St. John the Baptist means that this most likely is not 4-down territory. Myberg more than comfortable from this distance.
We just saw Jack Gagliardi come on, 44, that H-back, tight end. So they'll go with their heavy package, which they call, appropriately so, bully. Lisbon motions to the right. Inside the final 30 seconds now of this 3rd quarter. It's a good look at Max Bowers. Takes a snap himself. Look at Bowers cutting upfield. Bowers! Touchdown, St. John the Baptist!
Sunshine don't care that it got dark. He would not be denied right here. Number 14, Max Bowers, lowers his shoulder and adds a little exclamation point onto his offensive performance so far from St. John the Baptist to go up by 3 touchdowns here in this AA-1 title. You see a bit of a high snap. Doesn't phase number 14. Just runs with that great pad leverage. And once he gets close, will not be denied.
A 12-yard touchdown run for Bowers. Riding perhaps a championship wave here as Myberg's PAT is up and good in the lead for St. John the Baptist. It was 14-7, now 28-7.
What a 3rd quarter for Phil Alba's squad, coming out, getting an immediate stop from this Moore offense, and then since then kind of all St. John the Baptist on their offensive side of the ball with Max Bowers running things to perfection.
Here's a question for you, again, a guy who's been in these trenches before. When we spoke with Nick Giannatasio, the 2021 and 2022 losses in this game, he said they were largely different teams, that his team graduated 18 seniors from that. So he feels like even though there are some holdovers from those 2 championship appearances, that it's largely a new team. It's a younger team. So my question to you is, maybe because it's a younger team, maybe this isn't the fact, but how much do those losses previously in this title game weigh on them mentally?
I think, one part, yes, those losses are motivational, but yeah, they also do serve as a little bit of a hindrance sometimes when things start to go wrong in this championship game environment. Is it, all over again? Are we dealing with the same kind of issues? And I know that, Jim Kelly up in Buffalo can tell you once you get to the big game and lose it, it's easy to get back and lose it again. Got to be frustrating right now for Nick Giannatasio, but really all you can do is try and focus on the next play, try and get some things going positively. You got the stars on offense to go and score in a hurry, so got to do that to the best of your capabilities.
And what does Greg Schiano at Rutgers always preach, right? Chop.
chop.
You just got to chop away right now, and yeah, it's a big deficit at this moment. But as you mentioned, you've got guys in Pacheco and Green and Lighton and Vaikai among them who can break a big play at any moment. Now, that being said, not sure if they've played a defense as good as this St. John the Baptist group. There's Vaikai getting around the edge, and Vaikai!
There we go!
To the 30, to the 20. Vaikai, one play is all he needed. Touchdown, Moore Catholic.
Hey, right on schedule right there from Vaikai. We've been waiting on his huge play all day here. He gets his opportunity, and once he gets some green grass, forget about it. Nobody on this St. John the Baptist team is going to catch him. Gets around the edge there, does a really good job, and then just the vision to find that cutback lane and go for 6. Really impressive, and you know, you try and take a deep breath here for a second, and what do you know? You got a 2-score game once again at Moglia Stadium.
Vaikai, kind of right as we were saying it, you've got these guys, right? And Vaikai delivers in a big way, 64 yards to the house, and we're calling it now. That is your Speed Island speedy play of the game. Incredible stuff there from Vaikai. Watch it again, Pat.
Yeah, this is just so impressive. Finds that edge, tiptoes down the sideline, and then the vision to find that cutback lane and get back across the field. Vaikai, just a guy with absolutely elite speed out there on Staten Island, and that's why that's your Speed Island speedy play of the game.
Yeah, located in Garden City on Long Island. Improve your speeds today with Onyx Selva and the crew at Speed Island. From island to island. As more, how much now does that ignite things on their sideline and get them motivated and going?
High school football is such a game of emotion, especially when you're dealing with 15 to 18-year-old kids out here. So that could be a big difference maker right there to kind of re-energize Moore Catholic, get them back into this thing, and then all of a sudden, does St. John the Baptist still play with that reckless abandon that with which they've been playing all game long?
So Vaikai's 64-yard touchdown ended a 28-point run there for the Cougars. And again, it was Pacheco who gave Moore the lead. But when you play a game that started in daylight and ends at night, it feels like a really long time ago. Now the onside kick and a scramble for it. They're calling for it on the Moore sideline. Let's see.
Looked like initially St. John the Baptist jumped on it. Yeah, they're going to retain possession. But we've seen this a few times already today from Moore Catholic, those onside kick style kickoffs coming out the gate. Surprising not to see any adjustments coming from St. John the Baptist, who's still their standard 4-man front on that kick return unit.
Mendez was the one kind of digging in for that ball, the sophomore defensive end. But the Cougars came away. So 2-touchdown lead for St. John the Baptist early portion here of the fourth quarter. Their football now. Right at midfield.
Double-edged sword right there for Moore. That onside kick gives you the opportunity to maybe steal a possession, but when you don't get it, all of a sudden St. John the Baptist starting off on your 50.
Lisbon motions to the top of the screen. Stewart follows him there. Handoff. Rivera, and he's pushed back.
Looks like Eli Jones in on that tackle, the 6'2 sophomore from Staten Island. He's a guy who's long, fast, tenacious, flies around.
So a loss of 1 on first down, 2nd and 11 now for the Cougars. The pendulum of momentum now starting to go in Moore Catholic's favor.
The best way to stunt that little shift in momentum is by getting Lucas Skoda involved in the run game. So he's back there, number 7. And I anticipate him getting the ball right here.
Bowers, options right. Cuts it up the field. Big run by Max Bowers. That's how you take the momentum back with a first down run to the 35.
Some great running here from Max Bowers, a guy who going into today had only carried the ball about 40 times on the year, so not necessarily a guy who leans heavily into his running game, but you'll see what his legs can get done here. Follows his lead blocker in Skoda and just finds that little crease up the middle. Boy, he's running with some passion right now.
First and 10 from the Moore 35. And there's Bowers again. Pushed out by Pacheco.
Yeah, there, nothing going for Bowers. Trying to follow a couple of pulling guards, but RJ Pacheco just kind of able to find the crease and get him out of bounds.
Cougars certainly looking to take their time here.
One thing to keep in mind is right now they're sitting at about the 34-yard line. In our pregame discussion with Coach Alba, he said anything inside the 30 is plausibly within kicking range for them. Skoda back there again, yet to touch the ball on this possession.
2nd and 9. And a timeout is called by the Cougars.
Yeah, they're going to go talk this one over a little bit.
Well, we have this timeout. Let's meet one of the Cougars here. We had a chance to catch up with one of their leaders. It's Brandon Rains. His favorite football weather. He likes it a little bit warmer.
Sorry
he's
about
like
that.
He's like the September guy. Loves Mom's shrimp Alfredo. That sounds delicious right about now, right? And his favorite movie quote, and you this is spoken like a true D end. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. From The Godfather. Great stuff by Brandon Rains.
Yeah, Rains, a guy who's been causing some havoc off the edge, making life difficult for Tommy Zay.
So let's see what they have dialed up off of this timeout. 2nd and 9 for the Cougars. That's Lisbon. Motions the other way. It does go to Skoda, as you thought it should. And a short gain there.
Really nice job here by Eli Jones, the defensive end, number 22. There's going to be a couple of pulling linemen on the front of this play from St. John the Baptist, and he's basically going to grab the belt of one of those pulling linemen and ride that all the way to shutting this one down.
So 3rd and 8 for the Cougars. 28-14 lead here in the 4th quarter of this AA-1 championship game.
Got to feel like this is probably 4-down territory for St. John the Baptist, unless if they can pick up, say, 4 or 5 here, maybe you look at a field goal.
Bowers again gets a defender up in the air, but this time not getting much on that scramble. It's like Glenn Shepard, 21, again in the mix defensively for Moore.
So kind of decision time here. You're out on the 31-yard line of Moore Catholic. So that'd be about a 48-yard field goal, give or take a yard.
It's like Myberg is going to attempt it. So we will call it a 49-yard attempt.
Not an easy one. And if you'll look back deep, similar to his cousin Chris Davis, you've got Gerald Green ready to catch.
And that kick is wide right. I think it was short as well by Myberg. So Moore Catholic will get the ball back, and let's meet one of those Mavericks right now. Michael Herbert. You give him some mac and cheese on Thanksgiving Day, and he is a happy linebacker. Who Wants Smoke? That's his game day song, and he more the hoodie than the zip-up kind of a guy.
Gotcha. So he's more of a So hoodie type of guy, even though not a sponsor on this particular broadcast. Great supporters of Varsity Media. He's got to get himself a So hoodie at some point.
We could see if we could help you out with that, Michael. I've got your number. Text me. 1st and 10 for Moore as they try to fight their way back in. They didn't need much to do so before. Zay goes in the air, and this one is intercepted. Leiden was the intended target, but Joey Rivera with the pick.
Joey Rivera, we've seen him running the ball a little bit in the second half here. He steps up in a big way with the interception over the middle. Gonna read the eyes of Tommy Zay all the way. Bit of an errant throw as Zay gets hit by number 27, Jared Anello. And just a really great job there by Rivera, bringing that one down and recapturing momentum for his sideline.
And Zay needed a trainer there. He's walking off with the trainer after that big hit by Anello. So something obviously to eyeball here in the closing moments of this fourth quarter. But big play by St. John the Baptist. They take over on their own 40-yard line.
St. John the Baptist going back to their jumbo package. You've seen featured at various times throughout tonight.
Another run to the left-hand side.
And if you're St. John the Baptist, got to feel like this is a time to really lean into that great running game for the rest of the way. Got a strong offensive line that's been clearing holes all day long for Bowers and alike.
And you see Gagliardi there, 44. That H-back. Tight end as well. All right, so it's that bully package for the Cougars. Bowers hands off. Skoda goes towards the sideline, cuts it upfield, spins, and a big run by Skoda.
So impressed at this guy. Doing absolutely everything, tiptoeing down the sidelines, giving you a little bit of a spin move at the end for good measure. And anybody who thought that this was purely a defensive player just doesn't know Lucas Skoda.
And he is, by definition, a football player, right? And you don't limit a football player like Lucas Skoda to a position.
No doubt.
So a fresh set of downs, all right, at midfield for the Cougars. They've got a 14-point lead, and the clock, as they say, is their friend. Bauer spins, actually puts it up in the air, looking for Lisbon. Oh, nearly came up with it. Made a nice cut inside of his defender.
Nice job by Damon Stewart again in one-on-one coverage. Not an easy task going up against DJ Lisbon, but right there able to break that one up. Textbook coverage.
There you see number 9 for Moore Catholic.
Yeah, he's a guy with several offers himself. Sacred Heart, Fordham. Missed a few weeks this season, but has really come on strong at the end. He's a 4.46 40 guy, too, so forget about running past Damon Stewart.
Yeah, a lot of times gets overshadowed, right, because Lightning on the other side. And there's Skoda. A collision right up the middle for Skoda. Gets a couple there.
No sense of urgency, obviously, from this St. John's team. Kind of doing a little sugar huddle. Milk that clock as much as humanly possible here as we get down, approaching 7 minutes to play in the ball game.
3rd and 8 for the Cougars. They were able to move the chains on their last 3rd down conversion.
Got that big boy package in yet again. Typically they go behind Bowers when they got both of those heavy fullbacks in the game. We'll see what they do here.
He's also utilized Lisbon. He's at the bottom of your screen as Bowers takes it himself, spins, turns, continues to get the push from the big boys. Look at 72, Alvarez. Alvarez looked like he was pushing a Mack truck forward.
And getting an extra 340 pounds of momentum coming behind you. Could carry any pile. But gotta love that from the big man, Almirez.
And after all of that, an injured Moore player, once they pull the bodies all off of that big collision. So a reminder, this game 2 of 3 here from Fordham. Mount St. Michael has won the AA-2 championship. And after this one, it is the AAA championship between Cardinal Hayes and Iona Prep.
Yeah, some would say that game's kind of the granddaddy of them all here tonight. That AAA showdown, couple of local teams matching up here a little bit later on at Moglia Stadium. But boy, have we had some fun already here at these Catholic championships.
Yeah, we felt throughout the year it had that feel of a 5-team race this year. A year ago it was 3, right? You would say it was Stepanek, Iona, and St. Anthony's. But this year, you know, you throw in obviously Hayes and you bring in Farrell as well into the mix. It felt like any of those 5 could probably win it. But also the way that they've played, especially down the stretch, you can argue the 2 best teams have met now in the championship game here at Fordham.
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, you know, Iona Prep has been a completely different team since Jalen Hicks has come back into that defensive lineup. And then on the flip side, you know, Richie Beelan, probably the best quarterback in all of New York right now. So a lot of star power in that game. I think should be a lot of fun. But, hey, 6 minutes of high-flying action here first.
Yeah, 4th and 4. Pacheco is deep as Myberg sets. It's a punt. There's a good look at Pacheco.
If I'm
Campisi is the long snapper.
Got to get this one out of bounds, in my opinion, if you're Myberg. No need to take a risk of a long return from Moore Catholic.
And the Cougars will use one of their final 2 timeouts to talk things over.
Even though you got to be happy with where you're at right now, if you're a Cougars fan, still a lot of work to be done. 5:58 against this offense that can do a lot in a hurry, as we just saw from their last possession. Really important to execute well on special teams in this upcoming play.
And that was Vaikai going 64 yards to the house at the final play of the 3rd quarter, and that made it 28-14. That's our score right now. And again, Moore jumped out in front with Pacheco getting the opening touchdown, and then 4 consecutive scores, 3 by Lisbon, Skoda, Lisbon, and then Bowers. As there is that punt, it's angled. And what a good one as well. Wow.
Wow. Reminiscent of the guys like Shane Leckler, Jeff Fiegel, some all-time greats at the coffin corner. Beautiful execution right there by Myberg.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can. I mean, I guess maybe if you go 2 more yards in, but I don't know if you could execute that any more perfectly than Myberg did. One thing, it wasn't returnable, right? That's what you said. And you angle it inside not only of the 10, but now inside the 5. And that's his secondary. Like, he's not a punter by trade. He's picked it up this year. He's a kicker. That's where he'll go to LIU to do. But what a job by Myberg.
And for everybody at home who rolls their eyes whenever you hear that cliche of, you know, special teams is 1/3 of the game, look no further than the performance of Myberg today. That's been a huge catalyst to get St. John the Baptist where they're at right now.
So a long way for Moore to try to fight their way back in. And look at Raines trying to get the safety here, pulling, I think that was Pacheco back to at least the 1-yard line. And it was Pacheco.
Yeah, Brandon Raines is a freak off that line of scrimmage, and right there matches up against a bona fide FBS running back, and Pacheco gets the best of him.
So no gain on 1st down. They'll call it 2nd and 10.
Dylan, does the lack of urgency from Moore Catholic surprise you at all right now? Only 5 minutes, and they don't appear to be going too fast.
Also, you note number 4, James Matera in at QB. He was your starting quarterback at the start of the year. And we mentioned we saw Zay helped off with a trainer. So now it's Matera in, throwing from his own end zone. That's a good-looking ball up the side, looking for Vaikai, but King was again in great coverage.
Yeah, to me, Chris King, probably the defensive MVP of this game right now for St. John the Baptist. He's just been locked down and tasked with a really difficult task of trying to shut down Vaikai all day long. Really doing an admirable job.
Matera on the year, the senior, 29 of 51 for 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 24 carries for 127 yards and a score. He has returned since that Christ the King game to have some spot duty, but again, it was Zay who's gotten the majority of the snaps. So tough spot here for a somewhat cold Matera. Again, from his own end zone, slings it towards this side, finds Lighton, and Lighton has King draped all over him.
Even though it was a really nice pass from Matera and a nice haul by Lighton, I think they're going to be a little bit short by my naked eye.
Yeah, the punt unit coming on. As you see it again, and this is how you wrap up.
And, I know still a little bit of time left in this game, but a bit confused at why they'd look to punt right now. And they
Perhaps they're not. Yeah, they're going to go. Pushing forward. They needed to get 1. And they will get it. Looked like it was Pacheco again in that Wildcat to get the push needed to continue this drive.
And if you got R.J. Pacheco back there, might as well utilize him in a scenario like this. So hard to bring down behind the line of scrimmage. It gets just what they needed to keep this drive going.
Yeah, I saw a lot of different personnel coming on, and you thought maybe it was a punt, but it was just to set, obviously, that up. Here's Lighton. He's got blockers up the field, runs towards his sideline, and he is shepherded out by King. But that moves the chains, and it stops the clock. And when you think of it, too, Pat, like you think, wow, well, it's a 2-touchdown deficit. But, again, you get a touchdown, you get an onside kick, it's a new ball game.
And there's been several close calls in this game already for St. John the Baptist trying to recover those onside kicks. So it's anything but a guarantee that they'll be able to get possession should Moore score.
James Matera. Back in, has time, slings it, and that's tipped again. The King.
Yeah, somebody bring him his crown from the sideline right now because Chris King is just all over this field today.
Looks like he put his sword away right after that one.
Right here, you're going to watch him just read the eyes of Matera. And this is just textbook right here. Finding the lane, jumping in. Not even his guy that he's covering. He's just sitting back in zone coverage. And that's a thing of beauty by the 6'2 senior corner.
On a defense where you can spotlight a lot of different guys, King has been excellent. And Phil Alba says one of the better corner 2 cloud corners that he's ever coached. Look at the time now for Matera. But he's got to make a play with it. Tucks under, and he's pulled back. So that pocket, listen, he wasn't going to have time forever, that is for sure. And a couple of guys, Lemler in the mix as one of the tacklers.
Yeah, we've been calling Ben Lemler's name quite a few times today. He does a really good job with his technique in there and able to bring Matera down for the sack.
3rd and 12. Moore Catholic in desperate need for another big play. Vaikai's the one who delivered the biggest play for them on the day. That a 64-yard touchdown. That cut their deficit in half. Matera. Interception! And this will be brought back to the house.
Are you kidding me right here?
Lisbon.
DJ Lisbon with just a tremendous day. His third touchdown of the afternoon right there. He usually doesn't even play defense. And are you kidding me, man? Using all that 6'4" frame. And just a little tip drill action here. Matera a little bit off target, throws it to triple coverage. And this one's going back. Forget about it once Lisbon sees the open field. He's going to dance in as they seal this AA-1 title.
And Jungle's the one who had the tip. Bonilla got the tip. However, there's a block in the back. So take the points off the board for St. John the Baptist. And as much as that was fun to watch for Lisbon and you put it on your highlight reel, listen, this is more important right now. You've got the ball with 2:23 left. An opportunity here to close things out.
No doubt. Right now it all just comes down to protect the ball, run it a couple times. Once you move the sticks, you can kneel the ball out and clinch your AA-1 title.
It has been a while for St. John the Baptist. That is for sure. We showed you all those AAA championships back in the 80s. 4 of them from 80, 81, 82, and 84. They've not won in this middle level, though. They've won an A title, which is now called the AA-2. But the AA-1 has eluded them. And remember, too, 2 years ago, losing in the AA-2 championship game to Holy Trinity. There are some guys who played roles on that team who are on this roster. Here comes Skoda, cutting it to the outside. What a smart football play by Lucas Skoda. Cuts it upfield to make sure, even though the clock will stop on the chains moving, made sure to not get out of bounds.
Yeah, just a super heads-up play, and as you look across at Moore, they only have 2 timeouts left in this ball game, so that could be it right there. And just well-deserved by this entire St. John the Baptist squad. Fought their tails off all year long through adversity. And to be able to kind of finish it off the exact way that they wanted to has to feel so good for this whole squad.
So 1st and 10 inside the final 2 minutes. Bowers hands off. There's Skoda up the middle. And you see in the back of all those jerseys, it's about brotherhood, right? And the slogan this year was about process over results, and it's about trying to say it's culture first. So how do you take coaching? How do you take criticism and handle adversity and persevere through trials and suffering? And the brotherhood values, you see it there in the back of the jersey, is their constitution. Like celebrate community over individualism. It's part of the process, all about trying to get these kids to be less selfish in a social media world. So the focus not on the AAA as Skoda, again, barrels forward inside the 20-yard line. It's more about living out the values of our brotherhood, said Phil Alba, and it has to be the focus, and it was throughout the course of what in 45 seconds will be considered a championship season.
Yeah, such character from this team all year. They faced their fair share of adversity. You know, they had a loss to St. Peter's to open up the year, finished up their regular season with a loss versus Xavier that had to hurt for Phil Alba's squad, but entering the playoffs, they refocused, were able to dominate Christ the King at home in their quarterfinal in the semis, able to take care of business against St. Peter's, and then they saved their best one for last against a more Catholic squad that a lot of people, quite frankly, thought was too talented for the St. John the Baptist team. Really impressive to see the way they've unified and overcome.
Yeah, you'd have to say that they were considered the favorites, right? More Catholic as they take the knee, and Phil Alba, look out, coach. The Gatorade's coming for you. There it is on the sideline. as the final score is St. John the Baptist 28 and Moore Catholic 14 for the first time since 2013. St. John the Baptist are Catholic League champions. What a moment for those Cougars. And listen, that is your emotional leader right there. What a moment that is for Cujo, number 20. Big emotions there, and realizing all that hard work has paid off.
Absolutely. Been 10 years since this team has been able to bring a championship trophy back to Islip. So got to feel so good for this whole squad. They face an uphill battle all year long, but in the end, they're able to unify. They're able to adapt and overcome. And just a really, really gutsy football game all around from the St. John the Baptist Cougars team. Now on the flip side, heart goes out to Moore Catholic. They fought their tails off, had another really good year, and got to be difficult getting to this title game 3 times in a row and walking away empty-handed, but they got so many guys with bright futures ahead of them as well. Really fun football game here in this AA-1 title game.
And you see the handshake line. And, man, you've got to feel for the guys at Moore Catholic. For a 3rd straight year, you play on the final day of the season, and you fall short again in this same game. It is like Groundhog's Day. Even though the venue has changed, the result is the same, and that's got to be gutting for Giannatasio and his Mavericks.
I think the silver linings for that program are, number one, you've accomplished so much as a school, and things are 100% headed in the right direction out in Staten Island for Moore Catholic. So the best is definitely yet to come. And then, taking that a step further, even though they walk away empty-handed on this championship Saturday, so many of their players are going to have incredible football careers beyond this, go on to play at the college level, one of the most talented teams I've seen ever at this AA-1 level. And a lot of those guys are going to go on and do some beautiful things in the future. As you see St. John the Baptist just soak up this sweet moment. That's awesome.
That's great from Coach Alba. You love it. And listen, this is a team, man. They had their naysayers, right, this year. You look back at their regular season, the high moment was Chaminade, right? And you're like, whoa, what a statement by St. John the Baptist beating a AAA team in Chaminade. And then you go back-to-back and you're humbled, right? At home, homecoming, crushed by Lehigh. At home the next week, back-to-back shutout defeats. So kind of that's where you have the road, right? Where are we going from here?
Yeah, a 2-week combo there in late September, early October. They lost back-to-back games by a combined score of 59-0. So it takes a lot of character to be able to kind of reassess midway through your regular season and say, hey, we still have some incredible things ahead of us for this team. So that character really showed through, and now they're reaping the rewards as AA-1 title holders. And
then you go on the road, and then you beat your rival in Holy Trinity, right? In miserable weather, just brutal conditions. You go to Hicksville, you earn a low-scoring 10-9 win, right? And it wasn't a complete roll from there. There was still a bump in the road, but that's where it turned around, right? How do you respond to adversity, right? The brotherhood, the constitution that they have. And they did that in a big way.
Absolutely. And, throughout this game, a couple different times where they took big punches from Moore Catholic. They rebounded immediately. I think about that Vaikai long touchdown right there in the second half. They could have shrunk at the end of the third quarter, but instead, what do? They come out and sustain a 6-minute drive at the beginning of the fourth quarter to kind of seal this one away. So just really, really great stuff from St. John the Baptist, a program that's firmly trending in the right direction.
So Lucas Skoda and DJ Lisbon are your defensive and offensive MVPs. And honestly, you know what? You could have flipped either of those, right? For Lisbon with the pick late to seal the win, and Skoda with what he's done rushing the football. And now the championship trophy being awarded to the Cougars. It has been a long time, that is for sure. And this one will be remembered for a lifetime by these guys.
Absolutely. Got to feel so good bringing the title back to Islip. And these guys just have so much to be proud of. A team that's been fighting, was here a couple years ago. AA-2 game.
Cujo's not letting go of that one, man. It means too much. He is that emotional leader. We'll send it down now to the field where Jared Veluzzi's got DJ Lisbon of the championship-winning Cougars.
Feel, man.
We practice in and out, day in, day out. Man, everything just hard work, man. That's all it takes, man.
And at St. John's, I know it's all about brotherhood, and you guys are now crowned AA-1 champions. I mean, how important is it to the program with this win?
We came to the championship, and I feel like a lot of us had a little bad blood in our system, and we knew what we had to do. Really just keeping God first. Persistent and keep God first.
And on defense, you guys were able to slow down one of the best offenses in the state. You had an interception, and the whole team played really well. What was the key there?
Practice, just waiting and just watching a lot of film. We just studied and knew what we had to do.
Thank you, DJ. Go celebrate. Back to you guys.
And we're back here. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties, but DJ Lisbon and the Cougars, they are Catholic League champions. And again, a team 2 year removed from losing to their rivals in Trinity. That was in the AA-2 championship. They've moved up now to the AA-1. And again, they're not too concerned about the AAA. It's about the brotherhood, and winning this championship is such a special feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. We tried to goad Coach Alba into discussing, AAA potential plans with us a little bit on our pregame call, and he said, nope, we're just worried about trying to develop the best men that we can out there at St. John the Baptist. They're doing a great job at that. If their future holds AAA football, I'm sure that'll be a welcome jump for the program. If not, they'll continue to dominate and do a great job here at the AA-1 level.
And look, as you said, right, the message before involved 1 Corinthians, right, and the parts and the body, and he also mentioned in that talk that if we do our best, if we leave everything out in the field, that will be a rewarding feeling, no matter what the final result is. And obviously, this final result is with the championship.
Yeah, like my grandma always says, I'll do my best, God will do the rest. Sounds like that was the approach from St. John the Baptist as they invoked 1 Corinthians going into this game. And, hey, it pays off in a big way. Happy to see those guys walk off the field knowing that they're champions.
So St. John the Baptist, Catholic AA-1 champions here tonight from Fordham University. That'll do it here from the AA-1 championship game. Want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Travis DeLuise, Dan Acevedo, and Matt McCower-Brown, bringing you all those moving images. For Jared Veluzzi, our sideline reporter, and Pat Godfrey, my color commentator. I'm Dylan Butler. Thanking you for joining us from Fordham. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.